Matchups like this only come many times a year. But Brookdale and Rowan College meet for another chapter. From the Camden Athletic Complex, the road to Johnson City ends in Region 19's most famous ballpark as the Brookdale Jersey Blues face off against the RCSJ-Gloucester Roadrunners in the first game of a potential two in the Region 19 championship. Hello, everybody. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Mackenzie Cochran on the call. This is going to be a wonderful day for baseball. Whether we play one or two games, this is going to be a great day to watch. Brookdale and RCSJ, a rematch from last year, and it seems like it's a recurring theme for the Roadrunners. Even though they've won 3 straight national championships the last 3 years in the Region 19 tournament, they lost their first game, but guess what? They're back in the championship today.
It's crazy because when you think of the RCSJ Roadrunners, they're completely dominant in JUCO baseball. You have Rob Valley, such an amazing coach who has such high honors, but every year it's the same thing. Because I remember
third lowest team ERA in the nation, and they have made themselves into a pitching powerhouse, which is not common in junior college baseball. Even the Roadrunners, who have a good pitching staff, still have a team ERA up over 5. And the other teams that competed in this tournament, Middlesex and Camden, they have a team ERA up over 6. So it'll be really important to see if Brookdale can hold it down on the pitching and hold this very hungry Roadrunner lineup off the scoreboard.
Absolutely. And then when you look at the rankings, RCSJ Roadrunners, 3rd in the nation, Brookdale, 8th in the nation, so they're actually not that far off from each other.
Yeah, and for Brookdale, they've got some great matchups as well. Ray Mulhern, who leads off for Brookdale, he's led off in every single game this tournament. He's the nation's leader in hits for NJCAA Division III. He's got 92. Meanwhile, Dawson Smale, he's 3rd in the country in batting average. So Johnny Johnson's got a great squad for Brookdale, and so do the Roadrunners, too. They've got a guy, Nick Slogic, who you were going to talk about.
Yes, Nick Slogic, who we all know as a Roadrunner who's dominant. He had the Roadrunner spotlight out of everyone from RCSJ on their website, and also he is a player to watch.
And for Slogic as well, he's 5th in the nation in hits. There's 3 Roadrunners that are top 5 in the nation in RBIs. This is not only a regional matchup, but is a national matchup on all levels. It should be really nice to see these two square off tonight.
It is beautiful weather outside. We're at a beautiful venue. It's a great day for baseball.
Brookdale and RCSJ coming up in just a moment after the break in the Region 19 Championship. Victor Okendo, the starter for the Roadrunners, as he comes into this game. The graduate of Timber Creek of Ariel, New Jersey. 25 in the third innings, 19 walks, 46 Ks. He's got a 4.62 ERA and a 1.62 whip, but he hasn't always been a pitcher. He hit both hitters and pitchers in high school, and honestly, many JUCO pitchers do, but he's a different case because he only really started pitching exclusively in junior college for Rob Valley. But he comes into this game as in his first appearance for the Roadrunners. The Roadrunners have brought out all different starters for this tournament. It's been really interesting to see so far.
That is really interesting. And that really just shows his versatility as a player.
For RCSJ-Gloucester is number 6.
Ray Mulhern leads us off. Your starting lineup for the Brookdale Jersey Blues, led by Johnny Johnson. Ray Mulhern is the center fielder batting leadoff. Dawson Smale, the shortstop, bats second. It's Gabe Tomei, the DH, batting third. Gary Perone, the third in left field, batting fourth. And Anthony Pizzuti, the third baseman, in the 5 slot. In sixth will be Ryan Adams, the catcher, followed by seventh Tom Diffley at first. Casey Gardner, and right in the 8 slot, Ryan Tan is the second baseman in the 9 slot. Beautiful sunny skies, 12 noon, exactly. Okendo to Mulhern. We are underway in the championship round as that one misses. 1-0 to Mulhern. Mulhern, the nation's leader in the NJCAA Division III in hits with 92 going into this tournament. The 1-0. Missed that time. 2 balls, no strikes. Mulhern, a product of Southern Regional, got our player of the game honors yesterday for his go-ahead RBI single in the 8th inning. Only 5'8", 165 pounds, but man, this kid can fly. As that one's outside, 462 average, 1 homer, 49 RBIs, and 38 stolen bases. Brookdale top 25 nationally in stolen bases. Of course, that does not compare to Camden County, who was one of 3 teams in the nation to steal 200 stolen bases in the regular season. It was them, Northern Essex, and Salem, the only 3 to steal 200 plus in the 2026 season. As there's a strike called, Okendo gets one on the outside half, and it's 3-1. It'll be Dawson Smale on deck, another national contender, 3rd in the nation in batting average. 3 balls, 1 strike. Okendo delivers, and that one is a strike called. 3-2.
Pitching looking really smooth for the Roadrunners right now. That is exactly what they need to win this game. This game is a must-win for the Roadrunners. If they lose it, they lose the region championship.
Brookdale 2-0 going into today as Okendo's 3-2 to Mulhern. Swing and a miss, he got him. What a comeback. Vic Okendo was down 3-0 in the count, got 1 take, another take, and a swing and a miss as Mulhern goes down on strikes, and it'll be Dawson Smale in the 2 slot for Brookdale.
Shortstop number 7, Dawson Smale.
Smale, only a freshman, although he is 6'2" from Clarion, Pennsylvania. Huge batting average and hits 90 hits going in.
As we said, also a big contributor to this lineup. We talked about Mulhern being the nation's leader in hits. Slogic also 5th in hits. A.J. Gonzalez of Middlesex, who Middlesex was eliminated from the tournament yesterday. Heartbreaking day for them. It's always heartbreaking if you go into the tournament, if you go into day 2, 1-0, you just upset the 3-time national champions in the Roadrunners, and then you lose 2 in 1 day to go from on top of the world to eliminated in the span of about 6 hours. But that's what happened to Middlesex, as it's 1 ball, 1 strike. They beat Rowan Gloucester 13-5 in the first game of the first day, and then lost twice. Once to Brookdale 6-4, and a second time to Rowan Gloucester, a second time 4-3. In that game, Nick Izzo had all 4 RBIs, including a go-ahead RBI double in the 7th inning of that game. Okendo, the 2-1. Swing and a miss by Smale, and it's 2-2. Brookdale in their navy blue tops. They've worn all white for the rest of this tournament, but because they're on the road for the first time, technically as the road team, as the number 2 seed, wearing the away tops. As there's a swing and a miss. Second time Okendo's gone to that fastball up high. He got Mulhern with it. Now he gets Smale with it, and there's 2 away. So that might be Okendo's bread and butter tonight. But it'll be Gabe Tomei for the Jersey Blues. 2 outs, top of the first. But beautiful sunny skies here in Camden. Going to get up to 81 degrees today. It's 76 at first pitch. Like we said, sunny skies, not a single cloud in sight as a strike is called to Tomei, the designated hitter, and it's 0-1. Tomei had a couple of hits in yesterday's win, as that one misses, and it's 1-1. Tomei, a sophomore out of Southern Regional in Manahawkin, 478 average, 3 home runs, 28 RBIs, 37 runs scored, and a grand total of 10 extra base hits, 6 doubles, 1 triple, 3 homers. Strike called 1-2, so a breaking ball from Okendo, and he's 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. The first 3 for Rowan Gloucester will be the same first 3 that it's been basically all season. It'll be Joe Mayer, Alex Apicella, and Jack Mastero. The 1-2. Up high, pops out of the glove of Rosado. Gary Perrone III, the left fielder, is on deck in the cleanup spot for Brookdale if the inning continues. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on top of the first inning. Okendo, 2-2, up and inside at the letters on that breaking ball, and he works the count full. I mean, this could be, honestly, a net benefit for Gloucester, but also a net neutral at best for Brookdale, because you're still working up Okendo's pitch count. 2 at-bats out of 3 with a full count. And they'll attack on the 3-2. Line drive foul, hits off the facade of the dugout, ricochets back into the field. Still 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, top of the first inning in the NJCAA Region 19 championship game between Brookdale and RCSJ-Gloucester. The 3-2. Swing and a foul tip, hits off the top of the net. And this at-bat will stay alive for another pitch. This will be pitch number 8 of the at-bat. And like we said, every pitch that Okendo throws, it's going to be better and better for Brookdale. Like I said, you could still strike out the side here and still give Okendo a fairly high pitch count through the first inning, and it'll be kicking the can down the road, but could get RCSJ to move their bullpen earlier than you'd like. The 3-2, and that one's another one fouled back. So Tomei just won't go down, and he's facing mostly fastballs here on the 3-2. Okendo hasn't gotten that breaking ball to stick for a strike all that often so far. He's been missing a little bit inside when he throws the breaking ball, so I feel like Tomei's just waiting for something that he likes, or trying to square one up.
I absolutely agree with that.
3-2. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts all in the same spot. Fastballs high in the zone. They claim Mulhern, Smale, and Tomei. And going to the bottom of the first, Roadrunners will take their first at-bats in a scoreless game. Bottom of the first inning, your starter for Brookdale is Jeff Barham, right-hander of Shore Regional in Ocean County. 40 in the third innings for him. 21 walks, 32 Ks, 2.01 ERA, and a 1.24 whip. Brookdale's had a lot of good starters in this game, and a lot of them have been able to go a long way. TJ Laguerre in the first game, and the only game that Brookdale played yesterday, threw 8 innings in the win. So he certainly, Johnny Johnson that is not afraid to throw long-term arms. But your starting lineup for Rob Valley and the Roadrunners, it's Joe Mayer, the shortstop, Alex Epicella at third base, bats second, Jack Mastero of Gloucester Catholic in right field, bats third, Nick Slogic at first base, batting fourth, Nick Izzo in left field in the 5 slot, Jaden Rosado, the catcher, bats sixth, Gavin Cohen, the second baseman, bats seventh, Carter Comiskey, the DH, bats eighth, and Caleb Delaney of West Deptford in the 9 slot, and your pitcher, as we just saw, Victor Okendo. So Shore Conference versus Shore Conference here, as I don't know how many times that Shore Regional and Donovan Catholic played, but Joe Mayer, the product of Donovan Catholic, leads us off. We kind of talked about it tongue-in-cheek pregame, but it's pretty much a standing bet now that Rob Valley really doesn't change his lineup a whole lot. His lineup has not changed once during this tournament, as there's a base hit in the center field for Joe Mayer. So just takes 2 pitches, and he sends that one back up the middle, and it'll be a base hit to send up Alex Apicella.
And Dan, it's very interesting because it seems to be such a recurring theme. This happens year after year. I remember when I was a student at RCSJ in 2024, the same thing happened. He hasn't really changed the lineup, only really just the pitchers as the game goes on.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of different arms starting these games. Obviously, if you have relief work, you could probably go on a little bit shorter rest, like Matt Hewitt through both days 1 and 2. I believe he had 4 innings on Thursday and then picked up another 2 on Friday. But the starters that RCSJ had, I mean, Doug King, probably the best individual performance of them all, the graduate of Paulsboro, as there's a line drive by Apicella, right center field. It's caught on a slide. Brought in by Casey Gardner, an unlucky strike, and out to right center field. Apicella flies out number 1, and Casey Gardner playing into that turf really well. I mean, that catch is even harder to make on grass because your momentum's a little bit slower. You might not be able to run as fast. And that slide, if you do that on natural grass, that's going to hurt. And it's certainly not going to be as smooth as what Casey Gardner did. It's a nice catch by the right fielder. Here's Jack Mastero facing Barham, the 0-1. First pitch is inside and a little bit low.
Jack Mustero, brother of R.J. Mustero from Monmouth University baseball. So baseball runs in the family, very, very talented.
And he's got an even younger brother, Brody Mustero, who is a sophomore at Gloucester Catholic, getting some varsity reps, and he'll probably get more for the class of 2028 product. But it absolutely runs into the family, as that one's outside, 2-0. Mustero got a little bit banged up in yesterday's game. He got hit by 3 different pitches and 3 different at-bats. It actually caused a little bit of tension during the game, but everything was able to get cooled over a little bit. Cooler heads prevailed, especially in a close game. But the 2-0 to Mastero. Line into right field, that'll be a base hit. He'll get that one down. It'll go to Gardner in right. On his horse is Mayer. He'll go sliding into third. Mastero stops, and it'll be a base hit with 1 away for Mastero, as that's now the second hit of the inning. 2 singles, 1 to center and 1 to right. And now it'll be Nick Slogic, the batter for the Roadrunners.
Very good run by the Roadrunners for that. Jack Mustero came into this game with 84 hits and 85 runs.
Yeah, he is second in the nation in RBIs, and we were going to talk about that as we'll bring up that stat right now, as the batter is Slogic. Taking a look on the right side of your screen, Sebastian Palma of Dallas Eastfield leads the nation in RBIs at 91. Jack Mastero with 86. Nick Slogic, the batter, is third. Then it's Nick Izzo fourth. Now this was updated as of when we started the tournament, so they've really only gone up from here. But Izzo is 72, and then 5, 6, and 7. Robert Mello of Hudson Valley with 70, and then the 6th and 7th slots. Dalton Harper and Mike Schaefer, both of SUNY Niagara, at 69 RBIs and 68 RBIs, respectively. 1-0, runners on the corners, and Slogic, big swing and a miss on that pitch outside, and it's 1-1.
Slogic, a player that the Roadrunners are key contributing for. He has a batting average of .460.
and also a national contender in that mark as well. As the 1-1 outside, Adams looks back at third. Izzo in the on-deck circle had all 4 RBIs for RCSJ yesterday, the product of Jackson Memorial High School. Another Shore Conference team. So, I mean, listen, Shore Conference has a lot of great baseball players, and Izzo is one of them. Joe Mayer's another, as that one's up and out. Slogic, a product of Bishop McDevitt High School in Lidditz, PA. Not to mention Alex Apicella, I mean, a multi-sport athlete that he was. Went to play football at James Madison University after graduating from Suckham High School East in Holbrook, New York, in Long Island, as that ball's clubbed out to left center field. It'll stay in the ballpark for Mulhern. He'll come and make this catch. Here comes Mayer. He'll come in with a jog, and he will score the first run of the game. Sacrifice fly to center field. And the Roadrunners lead it 1-0.
Next up for the Roadrunners,
Just a good piece of hitting.
number
Can't
12,
complain about
Nick
that one.
Izzo.
And even if you get it out, you get that run home. Doesn't waste the 2 hits that you had. It's a productive piece and can't complain. As the batter is Izzo.
And it puts a point on the board. That's what the Roadrunners need. They need to win this game in order to win and make it to the next game to win the championship.
Which is how it happened last year. Brookdale did not win game 1. It was a 12-9 final as that goes into right field, a base hit, gets past the diving Tan. Izzo with a single. So 1 run already home for the Roadrunners. 2 outs and now 3 hits. Jaden Rosado is the batter. He homered in the first game of the tournament. Ended up looking like it was going to be a high leverage home run, but with Middlesex running away with the game in the late innings, it ended up not being that consequential. But, I mean, these guys were knotted up with Middlesex for most of the first half of the game, first 5 innings, and then it just kind of fizzled out from there as that one misses. 1-0 to Rosado, the graduate of Bridgewater Raritan. Also has thrown out 4 base runners stealing during this tournament.
Rosado, only 5'7", but in baseball, you can't count that out. Just because you're short doesn't mean you don't have speed.
Certainly has a lot, and he's got a strong arm as well, as that one's outside, 2-0. I feel like the physical build of a player doesn't apply as much as it used to back, 20, 30 years ago. I mean, I remember growing up, Jose Altuve, of course, being a big star for the Houston Astros. That was somebody who, I mean, he's 5'6", probably 160, 170 pounds. And, he was just one of those guys that heavy contact hitter, got on base, and of course he developed a powerful side as well. But a lot of people doubted him when he got to the big leagues because of his height. And the old school philosophy of you have to be this height, this weight, this build to play baseball just doesn't apply. If you have the talent, you're going to find your way onto the field. I
totally agree. You just need that good swing.
And in Altuve's case, good defense as there's a strike called. 3 balls, 1 strike. One run across, runners on first and second for the Roadrunners. Brookdale will bat 4, 5, and 6 in the second. The 3-1. Outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So the Roadrunners capitalizing here.
Next up for Gloucester, the second baseman, number 1, Gavin Cohen.
So Gavin Cohen, another Gloucester Catholic product in the 7 slot, second baseman.
We're seeing a recurring theme here with that.
I mean, when you're the top team in New Jersey high school baseball, sometimes that makes you a breeding ground for the best teams in college baseball. I mean, I think about the guys who have gone on to play professionally for Gloucester Catholic. Tyler Mondeal comes to mind, 2016 grad, ended up playing in the Cincinnati Reds organization. And the 1-0 upstairs. I mean, their 2026 team has 3 Power 5 Division I commits. First of all, they have Henry Pancoast, who's committed to Sacred Heart, a good mid-major. But they also have Guy Lynham to Auburn, Noah Danza to Mississippi State. and then a whole bunch of other guys that have made a strong impact as well, as there's a strike called, 2-1 inside corner. But this is going to be a good litmus test here for Jeff Barham. If he can get out of this inning with a bases-loaded jam, you know, that kind of fires him up. Because one run, certainly, for how Brookdale is as a team, it's not impossible to overcome. I mean, these two teams are top 2 in the nation in extra base hits. Outside, 3-1, pardon. If the inning continues, the only way the inning continues is if the Roadrunners score a run. But if it does, Carter Comiskey, the DH out of Spotswood High School, will be next. 7 batters already up, though. We talked about Okendo working up his pitch count. This is a big, big count for Barham. The 3-1 is a jam shot out to Tan at second. He'll fade second, throw to first. He tags the bag, and it's in time. Out number 3. Roadrunners get a run across on a sacrifice fly. We go to the second, 1-0 RCSJ. Gary Perrone leading us off for the Jersey Blues in the top half of the second inning. Here from the Camden Athletic Complex, I'm Dan Wilkins with Mackenzie Cochran on the call of Montclair State University, formerly of RCSJ, and then Vincent Focht of Camden County College, or I guess now formerly of Camden County College. He walked yesterday. Both of you guys walked yesterday at your own colleges as 1-0, 4, 5, and 6 for Brookdale. Strike called. Perrone was the starter in Brookdale's first game versus Camden. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Perrone.
Gary Perrone, sophomore from Staten Island.
Outside, 2-2. Definitely a little bit rarer to see a two-way player in the junior college level. Obviously, you see it now and again, but it's not like high school where it feels like every player that can pitch can also hit. As a swing and a miss by Perrone. That's 4 strikeouts for Victor Okendo in a row, and he has gotten all of them swinging as Anthony Pizzuti's the batter. Pizzuti went 0 for 4 in Brookdale's game yesterday. Going to look to break that skid in game, well, this would be game 6 total. Game 3 for Brookdale as that one misses, 1-0. That one missed very high, hit the netting behind the plate. But you could feel Perrone's frustration when he struck out. He's just like, how can I not hit this guy? It's the 1-0. Pizzuti with another swing and a miss. I mean, that fastball just, the fastball doesn't look like any other fastball, right? It's just, you'd think it's a fastball. You'd think Brookdale would be able to at least square one up, but Oquendo's had them on their toes so far, and he's been messing with the locations. As this one's put in play, that'll be a base hit. Pizzuti gets it to center field, and after 4 straight strikeouts to start the game, the first ball put in play is a base hit by Anthony Pizzuti, and that'll bring up now the number 6 hitter in Ryan Adams.
And this is a big momentum change for Brookdale. They're really capitalizing on this. You can hear them in the dugout. They're really cheering for this.
One hit can change everything, right? And it's 1 out. And, of course, RCSJ can get the momentum right back if they get a ground ball double play. As Oquendo to Adams. First pitch inside. Adams was a crucial part of Brookdale's win over Camden. In the 7th inning, Adams clubbed a home run to deep right field, tied the game at 7, and Dawson Smale, after him, laced a 2-run triple to right center field to give Brookdale a 9-7 lead. They eventually won the game 11-7 as this one's fouled back off the top of the net, and it goes through the net over down the third base line. It's 1-1.
And Adams has a strong batting average of 338. Coming in, 47 runs, 44 hits, and 10 home runs. Very impressive.
That 10th was the one that was hit out to right field over the NJCAA banner. Throw back to first by Oquendo, not in time. Your umpires for today's game at behind the plate is, Joe Leone behind the plate. Ben DiCostanzo is the crew chief at first base, and Dan Irvin is your third base umpire. Foul back, 1-2. If we do go to a game 2, DiCostanzo will be behind the plate. He'll move from first to home. Irvin will move from third to first, and Leone will go from home to third. Because when you're in a double elimination like this, the rubber match, the crew chief always gets the rubber match behind home plate. 1-2. Oquendo delivers. This one hanging curveball, banged into right field, a base hit. Mastero picks it up. Pizzuti stops at second. It's a base hit for Ryan Adams. Back-to-back singles now, and Mackenzie, you were talking about a momentum shift. After 4 straight strikeouts, Brookdale's now got 2 straight base hits. Both of them hit pretty hard.
This is very big for Brookdale. You have a team going against the RCSJ Roadrunners, 3-time national championships in a row. Crazy. 2024, 2023 before that, and 2025. Looking forward to attending nationals this year and repeating again.
Well, last year, remember, they lost the Region 19 final to Brookdale. It took them 2 games to do it, but they ended up getting an at-large bid that was a higher seed than Brookdale, the team that beat them in the final. And they ended up winning the tournament as an at-large. They beat Century College to win the championship nationally. And the championship final was a final score of 16-1. So whenever you think that RCSJ is counted out, they just find another way to get back into it. It's the 2-0, from Oquendo is outside 3-0.
I always say it's Coach Rob Valley's magic.
He had the magic over at Temple. I don't know if it's Valley magic or if it's just Roadrunner magic, because that's what happened with Barry Davis when he was here, Mike Dixon, and of course they all went on to coach successful programs. Mike Dixon, basically, I like to say he got a promotion. He went from Rowan Gloucester to the main Rowan campus in Glassboro. That's a 4-pitch walk to Diffley. Bases are loaded, and Oquendo, he's on a roller coaster, and he hit the apex, and it seems like he might be on his way down. 2 singles and a walk. Puts Pizzuti on third, Adams on second, Diffley on first, and the batter is Casey Gardner. Gardner has had 6 hits in the Region 19 tournament in 2 games. Had 3 hits in game 1, 3 hits in game 2. He has hit all singles and has had 2 RBIs across the 2 games.
Gardner, very, very strong batting average as well with 404, 4 home runs, 49 runs, and 57 hits in the season so far. Incredible.
We do know that whoever wins the region final, it's considered the North Atlantic District. This is an auto bid to the national championship tournament, which will be 12 teams, 0-2. Change up on the outside corner, but The tournament this year, the national tournament, will be held in Johnson City, Tennessee, instead of Auburn, New York, where it was for the last few years. As the 0-2 outside. Rosado set up outside that time, missed, and it's 1-2. I thought that one was just a little bit off. I thought that was the correct call. I mean, remember, without ABS, the strike zone on 0-2 is not going to be the same as it is on 0-0 or even, 1-1 or any other count. And then a 3-0 strike zone is going to be different than any of them, as there's a foul tip. 1-2. Ryan Tan in the on-deck circle. The second baseman for Brookdale has had a few hits and has had a few clutch moments, but what he's been best known for across these two games has been his work in the field. He's made several diving stops, and he saved several runs with his quick thinking and his quick reflexes over at second base. The 1-2. Line drive, right center field, that gets down. Gardner could clear the bases. This will split with Delaney cutting it off. Pizzuti scores. Right behind him is Adams. 2-run double out of the 8-hole. Casey Gardner's 7th hit in 3 games, and the Jersey Blues lead it 2-1.
And that's exactly what we talked about with the momentum change. It's still so early in the game that anything can happen. Having those 2 runs is key for Brookdale.
Second baseman, number 42.
And one thing that people forget about playing on this turf field, we talked about it with Casey Gardner himself when he made a sliding catch, is this ball is going to roll. It's not like grass where it's going to take a hop and then it's going to stop. This is going to roll like a rock on a lake. It's just going to keep going. So that was quick thinking there by Delaney. Instead of letting it roll to the wall, because if it did, that was certainly going to score the runner Diffley from third. He decides to cut it off with the glove, which is another risk that you had to take, but he ends up flailing a throw in and saving that run from coming in. The 1-0. Up and out, 2-0. And in a championship game, so many things can change in the blink of an eye. And in junior college baseball, you know you're going to get a high-scoring game almost every time.
And one thing about JUCO baseball, they have amazing talent. A lot of talent who goes on and plays at the Division I level.
Good example, you mentioned R.J. Mestero. He's now at Monmouth University. And when you were there, Max D'Alessandro was the star who's now at Towson.
We think about a lot of them. A lot of them also went to University of Delaware, like Aaron Graber, who got drafted to the MLB.
Well, he was an undrafted free agent, but
Yes.
he still signed professionally with the Angels.
Yes.
I mean, I remember he was clubbing the ball for Delaware. But Delaware still brings in RCSJ products. A name that comes to mind for me is that's there now is Ethan Schaub, who was at RCSJ after graduating from Haddon Township, and now he's over in Newark in his grad year as a 2-2. Tan on the ground, chopper to third. Apicella snow cones it, throw to first is in time, and he successfully holds the runner with some leaping acrobatics by the third baseman. We go back to the top of the order for Mulhern with 2 outs in the top of the second. So 3 hits in the inning, just like the Roadrunners had in their half. Diffley on third after the walk, but Tan with a 5-3 ground out. And again, good awareness by Apicella to keep Diffley honest at third. Roadrunners will bat 8-9-1 in the bottom of the second, leading off with Comiskey. Breaking ball outside corner, 0-1. Oquendo's 0-1. Ground ball into left field, a base hit for Mulhern. Diffley scores. Stop sign for Gardner, who lost his footing around the bases. It's an RBI single for Ray Mulhern, just like he had yesterday. And it's 3-1 Jersey Blues in the top of the second.
Shortstop number 7, Dawson
This
Smith.
is now going to be the 8th batter of the inning in Smale. Mulhern with now 3 RBIs in this tournament, including the go-ahead yesterday in the 8th inning. That gave Brookdale the edge that they needed for a 6-4 win over the Colts of Middlesex. But a very good crowd on hand here for the first game, and as the day goes on, especially if a second game is needed, sure this place will fill up even more as it's 1-0 to Smale. One ball, no strikes. Strike called. 1-1. Can
Big
see
inning.
a boat passing underneath the Ben Franklin Bridge. Some kind of cargo ship. 1-1. Throw back to first, not in time. That's what I love about this ballpark. I mean, it was built with the presentation of the game in mind, with the field basically facing the river and the pillar of the bridge in center field more or less acting as the batter's eye. As there's a strike called, 1-2. I mean, they could have constructed a massive wall in center field, but I don't think that would have looked as nice as instead of having a several hundred feet tall brick pillar in center field basically acting as the batter's eye. The batter's eye was there before the ballpark. Strike 3, fastball in the lower half. Oquendo gets one back. He struck out 5 through 2 innings, but not before a 3-run frame puts Brookdale ahead after an inning and a half. It's the Jersey Blues 3 and the Roadrunners 1.
Gloucester is the DH. Number 19, Carter Comiskey.
Casey Gardner with a 2-run double to right center field, and a 3rd run comes in on Ray Mulhern's RBI single. Brookdale leads at 3-1. What a beautiful day here in Camden as Jeff Barham faces 8-9-1. It's Comiskey, Delaney, and Mayer as there's a strike called. 0-1. Victor Oquendo with 5 strikeouts, including 3 in the first inning and 2 in the second. But again, if you read between the lines, Brookdale with 3 runs, 3 hits in the second, which a huge momentum shift that I don't know if we were expecting after he struck out the side in the first. As Comiskey, fly ball center field. Mulhern's got his glove up against his face. He might not see it. Now he does. And Mulhern makes the catch in center field for out number 1.
That inning was absolutely huge for the Jersey Blues. You can hear them in the dugout completely jumping up and down, screaming. They know that that inning is a change to this game. And still, it's so early, so it's still anyone's game going in. But, wow, we did not expect that going in with how strong the Roadrunners looked with pitching. Absolutely crazy.
Remember that these two teams split in the regular season, and when Brookdale played RCSJ, I believe it was in their second game that Brookdale had an 8-run first inning. Now, part of that was because there were a lot of jam shots, a lot of tough hits. It wasn't like there were a lot, I don't think there were any home runs hit in that 8-run first inning, but RCSJ came back and made it a formidable game, but it was enough for Brookdale to win. So Brookdale can hit any kind of baseball, whether it's fundamental, really short base hits or, really fundamental doubles in the gap, or if you go yard and hit the ball out to left or right field. Brookdale can play the game in many different ways, and that's what makes them such a good team.
And that's what really shows in their rankings, like we talked about in the pregame. That's why they're ranked 8th in the nation.
That one hits Delaney in the ankle. He'll walk that one off, and he'll head down the first base as it'll put a runner on for Mayer. So the leadoff man and the shortstop, Joe Mayer.
Number 2, Joe Mayer.
I made that mistake yesterday.
John Mayer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's busy. But no, Joe Mayer, single in the first inning, came around to score.
You know, maybe he sings when he bats.
I don't know. Well, to make one John Mayer joke before we get serious again, I'll say it's going to be 94 on Tuesday. We are going to be playing baseball in a burning room. 1 ball, no strikes to Mayer. Strike called outside half, 1-1. Runner goes. Hit and run out to left center field. This could drop, and it will. And it's going to hop over the head of Perrone. Stop sign at third base. He's going to blow through the stop sign, and he will score. Caleb Delaney ignored the stop sign, but he'll get off with a warning as he'll get a run scored, a double to left center field for Joe Mayer. And it's now 3-2 as the Roadrunners cut the deficit to 1.
Absolutely huge for Roadrunners. You saw the speed going in there. That is what they need to come back to this game. They had to continue with that momentum, continue with that.
Third baseman,
I have a
Alex
feeling
Apicella.
that just going into this game that it's going to be back and forth. We're going to see runs scored aplenty. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we even see both teams getting up near 10 runs on both sides. I mean, it feels like both of these teams have so much momentum because not only are the Jersey Blues 2-0, they've had the most rest out of anybody else because they haven't had to play an extra game. And second of all, the Roadrunners also have momentum because they got that one loss out of the way.
Yes.
Just like they did last year versus Salem and 2 years ago versus Northampton. So, yes, they lost a game, but they won versus Camden pretty handily. They scored 7 runs in the first 3 innings and then kind of cruised from there. And then it was a 1-run nail-biter versus Middlesex, but that was another game where the pitchers did their jobs, and they didn't really have to worry too much about bad defense. So even though the Roadrunners have a loss, I would say that they've almost entirely reset since Thursday.
I totally agree with that. And the Roadrunners, having that comeback, they're not a stranger to that. They're used to that year after year, and that is what they thrive on. They thrive on coming back, and they also thrive on playing with pressure.
Now, what I would also say is that Rob Valley is probably going to address something like that in the offseason. You know, tell those guys that are returning, hey, listen, that's been 3 years in a row that we've lost on the first day. Let's not make that happen. Or he probably already told those guys when they got here, and it still happened anyway. So, you know, listen, things happen for a reason if you're the Roadrunners, and they're still riding hot right now. That one's away. But again, this championship is just as anticipated as it was last year. Last year's games were great. This year's games are probably also going to be great as well. But tying run on second here in the bottom of the second inning after the RBI double by Joe Mayer. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Apicella. Apicella's had 7 RBIs in this 3-game set as this ball's fouled back towards Delaware Street. That one's going to hit the street. But Mayer with that double, now 2 for 2, single and a double in just 2 frames. And Delaney, risky move ignoring the stop sign from third base coach, but was able to score, so no harm, no foul there. 2-2, fouled back again. That one is launched on a Delaware Street, and it's still 2-2. Jack Mastero on deck. He has pitched a few innings this year, but he pitched a little bit more at Gloucester Catholic, as we said. When you're in high school, you can be a two-way player all you want, and then you kind of rein in your specialty once you get to a collegiate level. So that's going to be ball 3, and sliding smoothly into third is Mayer, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Barham delivers, and this one's hit out to right field. This one's going the other way. Going back, it is gone! Wall scraper Apicella, 2-run home run. Roadrunners lead 4-3. Alex Apicella out to right field. And it got eaten up by the Tarp Monster. Here in Camden, Roadrunners lead by 1. That is exactly what they needed. It's a response of all responses. And the Roadrunners got exactly what they wanted. They matched Brookdale's 3 runs with 3 runs of their own. It's back-to-back hits, and Apicella goes the other way. He's now up to 9 RBIs in this tournament. Would not be surprised if the Roadrunners win it all, that Apicella takes home MVP honors. Tournament MVP honors, that is. Outside of Mestero. Mestero, no stranger to home runs of his own. He has 16 this year. Which is interesting because he didn't have that many home runs at Gloucester Catholic. He only had 4 in his senior year. And Gloucester Catholic, if you're aware of their field, is one of the wonkiest high school baseball fields you're ever going to see. It's about, there's no temporary fence, so there's a whole lot of things in play that shouldn't be in play. But for Mestero, a righty, it's only 325 down the line, and it juts out after that. But there were a lot of guys that are lefties at Gloucester Catholic that have hit homers there, like Guy Lynham and a few years before him, Jake Terranova. So I don't know what the shift has been for Mestero to hit this many home runs. Maybe it's the change in talent for pitching, but he's done very well in his freshman year, just like his older brother. Strike called on the breaking ball, 2-2. One thing you have to remember, though, Mackenzie, is that no matter what happens in this game, if Brookdale loses, even if Barham's having trouble, Johnny Johnson has to do his best to keep him in as long as he can, because you've pitched a lot of guys over the last 2 days, and if you have to play a second game, you can't afford to burn through the bullpen in game 1. You have to save that energy for game 2, even if that means biting the bullet and taking a few runs here in the early going.
You have to be careful with that, especially when you have a game of back-to-back in baseball, and especially for the region championship. That's a huge big deal.
3-2. And Mestero chases one. That might have curved back into the zone, but Mestero goes up and out, and it's the first strikeout for Jeff Barham. Out number 2 for Nick Slogic
First baseman number 9.
in the cleanup spot. So Apicella with a home run to right. And it's 4-3 Roadrunners in the bottom of the second inning. In the top of the third for the Jersey Blues, it'll be Tomei, Perrone, and Pizzuti. Baseball came in from right field. Oh, you know what? I think a passerby threw in the baseball, and it landed on the field. I think, yeah, I see somebody walking by under the tarp, and I think he found Apicella's baseball and threw it back onto the field. Now, I don't think they're going to use that in the game because it's got to be scuffed if it hits the road. As the first pitch is a strike called outside corner, 0-1.
Yeah, Dan, you're no surprise to flying balls during this tournament.
Especially if you hit it to right field, it'll go into Delaware Street. And if you hit it down the left field line, it'll hit the soccer field.
But beautiful sports complex we have here at Rutgers Camden.
Line out to short. It's picked up, and the side is retired. So after 2 innings, the Roadrunners get the lead back, and they take a 4-3 lead going to the bottom of the the top of the third here in Camden. Alex Apicella with a 2-run home run out to right center field as the first pitch is called a strike. Roadrunners lead at 4-3 over Brookdale. I'm Dan Wilkins, Mackenzie Cochran on the call of Montclair State University, and Vincent Focht of Camden County College, our producer this afternoon. 3-hitter, and Tomei leads it off. High chopper. Second base, Cohen is there. Throw to first is in time. Out number 1. And we'll go to Gary Perone, the third now, in the cleanup spot. But 3 runs apiece in the second. 3 in the top half, 3 in the bottom half.
Number 3, Gary John Perot.
Perone struck out swinging in his first at bat. Okendo looping curveball away. Tune in tomorrow on Sunday, May the 17th for 3 games down at beautiful Maxwell Field in Wildwood. We've got the semifinals and the finals of the Wildwood Strikeout Cancer Tournament. It's a benefit tournament going to cancer charities, as the 6 teams competing will be Wildwood, Wildwood Catholic, Middle Township, Lower Cape May Tech, and Camden Tech. So all 5 teams in Cape May County plus CCTS. They are playing in 2-game round robins today. The semifinals and the finals will be tomorrow. The top 2 teams from each pool advance. Games are at 11, 1:30, and 4, and we'll be on the call with Cape Atlantic Live's own Brian Kniff for all 3 games. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Perone. And then next week we kick off with Washington Township and Highland on Monday. Tuesday, not sure where we're going to be. Diamond Classic's going to be on Tuesday, so we have to figure out who wins today to find out who is not going to be playing on Tuesday. And our friends over at BFA Sports will have, oh, that one hits Okendo. It hit him on the glove, barehanded by Apicella, won't have a play. I think Okendo's okay, and he gives a thumbs up to the dugout. Rob Valley will come out to check on him, but if I'm correct, I think that hit him either on the glove or right around that area. But Valley will come out to check on it anyway. Elise Spalding, the athletic trainer, will still come out. He gave a thumbs up, and he is smiling, but sometimes, even though you might give a thumbs up, that adrenaline can wear off, and we'll see if he can hold through.
That's one thing about baseball, especially playing at the region championship. You got to keep on being strong, got to keep on going.
We saw it earlier, Nico Marabo for Brookdale in the first game, who, by the way, has not played since Brookdale's first game. He was taken out versus Camden in the middle of the game. And, by the way, Okendo is staying in the game. I think Marabo, he was running down the line, and he, came up limping on his hamstring. Or on his calf, and he was fine. Like, he stayed in the game for him enough to run around the bases, but then once the inning ended, he got taken out of the game. And like we said, in the games that Brookdale played yesterday and today, he has not made an appearance offensively or defensively with that left calf. Not sure what the exact nature of the injury is, but he has not returned since he was taken out in the middle of game 1. Runner on first. That was scored an infield single, which makes sense on the deflected contact, not an error by any means. Breaking ball. Not exactly a 12-6, not exactly a sweeper either. I mean, it's Okendo's breaking ball. It's something in the middle. I guess it's a 12-3, daylight savings time curveball, but the 0-1, throwback to first, not in time. I do like his breaking ball, though, because where he releases it, he does release it. He releases it kind of close to his head, and then, again, it'll loop up, and then it'll go to the side. But it's not as aggressive of a movement as a sweeper or like a slurve of some kind, as a throwback to first is not in time. But the evolution of the curveball has been very different in baseball, where you would just try to get it to have as much spin as possible, but now you're moving it in a lot of different directions. And we're seeing even some front door breaking balls now where you'll try to loop a 12-6 inside. Clayton Kershaw really popularized that, where you'll get a 12-6 inside to the batter, and you're going to try to get him on the inside half of the zone, which you didn't see a lot of pitchers do before then.
And that's one thing about pitching with baseball. It's so deceiving. You can throw a ball, and a fastball can really deceive them.
Yeah, even the fastball can have some ride to it, And it can really mess up your mantra, if you will, if you don't have it. I mean, think about what Brookdale did in the the first inning. Struck out the side,
yep.
And all 3 strikeouts were fastballs from Victor Oquendo that were on the top half of the zone. Some of them were even higher than the zone. So really a lot of deception here. As a swing and a miss, talk about another one. That's 6 strikeouts from Oquendo, and that's another fastball that was in the top of the zone as Pizzuti strikes out for out number 2.
And that's one thing about Oquendo. When you are playing baseball against him, you are expecting strikeouts. He averages 16 strikeouts per game.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a lower sample size, but again, looking at his stats, he had 25 innings and 46 Ks. As that ball gets away, it hits off of Slogic. Now going to second base, it'll be a throwing error on Oquendo. And that has been something that the pitchers have had to work on. Across all 3 days, RCSJ pitchers have had 5 throwing errors from the mound, either on pickoff attempts or on balls in play. But I feel like that's always a weak point for every team because pitchers are not, I mean, on their pickoff moves, you have to have a lot of moving parts. The pitcher has to have the throw on target. The first baseman has to be there. He has to be in the right position. It's one of the most common plays that you see thrown away. You even see it a lot at the major league level. 1 ball, no strikes to the number 6 hitter in Adams. Oof. Took a changeup. That was a dangerous location for Oquendo. Really thought he could have turned around something there. Just like he did off of Mike Manera in the 7th inning of the first game against Camden. 4-3 RCSJ with another big swing. Adams ahead of it, and it's 1-2. Back-to-back off speed from Oquendo. So after each team traded off 3 runs, RCSJ looking to blank Brookdale in the 3rd. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the pitch. That one's high, 2-2. Adams singled and came around to score thanks to Casey Gardner in the 2nd inning. So deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And 2 away. As a swing and a miss, he got him. Side retired. Victor Oquendo gets out of it, and going to the bottom of the 3rd, it's the Roadrunners 4 and the Jersey Blues 3. Welcome back. Bottom of the 3rd inning here from Camden.
We have Nick Izzo batting for the Roadrunners right now. 6'3", hometown of Jackson, New Jersey.
Izzo took a breaking ball and it missed. 1-0. 5, 6, and 7. Izzo, Rosado, and Cohen in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 4-3 RCSJ. Barham, low, 2-0. Izzo flew out to center field for a sacrifice fly in his first at bat. he's now up to 7 RBIs in this tournament as there's a fly ball, right field line. Back and out of play. 2-2. Pardon, 2 balls, 1 strike. I really like Izzo's swing because he's a kind of guy that he really specializes on the low pitch. He's a guy that keeps his legs pretty wide, but also he's able to bend his knees very deeply when he swings. You know, kind of like a Jeff Bagwell type where, you know, except with Jeff Bagwell, his whole thing was where his legs were wide and his knees were bent. I mean, he was in that position the entire time. So the difference is with Izzo, he gets down there and extends the knee when he gets up to the plate.
Nick Izzo, true talent. He is a transfer from St. Peter's University, so he knows how to play at that Division I level.
And there's a few players of that caliber as well. I mean, you know, Scott Lynch, who was the starter in the game versus Middlesex yesterday, he came over from Albany University. You have, obviously, Izzo from St. Peter's, Apicella from James Madison. That's kind of the appeal of junior college. It's,
Yes.
you know, if you think about how volatile the transfer portal has been in recent years, where players, they punch way above their weight. And I say that honestly and really sincerely because it's a problem now where players are, with all due respect to them, they are committing to programs that they do not fit in. And you now see these promises not being kept where part of the responsibility is on the coach, yes, where if a coach recruits you to the team and then doesn't want anything to do with you by the time you step on campus, it's a very gutting feeling. And we're now seeing, I think it was something like 40 or 45% of all, I think it was basketball players in NCAA Division I entered the transfer portal last year. So that's not a sustainable system. When you have thousands of players across 360 Division I teams, but then half of them are transferring, you're just playing musical chairs every year. And you know what happens is that the new kids come up and they take the spots.
Yes.
So it's not guaranteed that you're going to transfer from D1 to D1. So, oh, that ball almost got away from Diffley.
That's why that D1 and JUCO division is so alluring to these players because players can go and play the JUCO level and then go back to Division I. We saw it firsthand with Max Alessandro. He actually played at Fairleigh Dickinson University at first and then came to RCSJ, absolutely dominated, won the region tournament MVP back in 2024, and then now plays at Towson.
That ball gets through 10 in a right center field. Izzo stops at second. Rosado gets a base hit. That's now the 6th hit for the Roadrunners. And that will now bring up Gavin Cohen, the second baseman. 4 runs on 6 hits, 1 error in the field. And Brookdale is already getting a bullpen arm ready. That's number 12, Matt Koenig. A right-hander for Brookdale. Another pitcher that we have not yet seen in this 3-day tournament. Smale cutting off the runner there, trying to allure a pickoff as that ball's a ground ball. Tough play, gets through into left field. Stop sign at third. Izzo stops there. Pizzuti was playing in bunt defense. He was up on the grass past the dirt, but the stop sign keeps the run from scoring as the bases are loaded now for Carter Comiskey.
Stepping into the box, designated hitter number 19, Carter Comiskey.
So back-to-back hits for the Roadrunners. They now set up bases loaded, nobody out, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide for Jeff Barham. I'm a little bit surprised that Johnny Johnson hasn't gone out to talk to him yet, but he's sitting on his blue chair in the dugout, or just outside the dugout. 900-win head coach Johnny Johnson has spent a long time, as Rob Valley's going to call an offensive timeout. And Johnson is also going to use the offensive timeout to talk to his pitcher. But started his career at Red Bank Catholic in the Shore Conference, not very far from Lincroft at all. He then coached at a few different places, including Bloomfield College, which used to be an NCAA Division II, but at the time that he was coaching, it was an NAIA school. But he has been here for 27 years and has won a boatload of Region 19 championships, including last year, but also 5 times in the 2000s, 2002, 2005, 06, 07, and 09, twice in the 90s, 93 and 93, 5 times in the 80s, and once in 1979. That's at least when Brookdale won. They've won plenty of them. So you subtract 27 from the current year. He came over in 1999, so he is responsible for 7 total World Series / Region 19 championships for Brookdale.
And that's what we're seeing with both these teams. We have 2 teams here with amazing, talented coaches who are so strong in their respected fields. You have Rob Valley, a 4-time National Coach of the Year, 2005, 2023, 2024, and again last year, 2025.
And that NCAA honor that is given to the National Coach of the Year, I mean, that is up there with some of the best. I remember Jay Johnson won that award last year, I believe. It was either Jay Johnson or Kevin Schnall, but reflective of the LSU Coastal Carolina College World Series. I mean, it is not just an award. It is a national honor that these coaches receive. This ball skied, left center field. Out beyond the dirt, out to left, runners hold. Wasn't deep enough to get anybody home, and that's out number 1. So the batter will now be Delaney in the 9 spot.
Next batter, center fielder, Caleb Delaney.
I heard somebody call for an infield fly, but I don't think it was an umpire. But that ball trailed well into the outfield. Wouldn't have been an infield fly no matter what. Unless you're Andrelton Simmons in the 2012 wildcard game for the Atlanta Braves, as that one is at the letters, 1-0.
Caleb Delaney has a batting average of .393, and he is a South Jersey native himself, only being from West Deptford, very close by.
Only maybe 10, 15 minutes from the RCSJ campus, but played in the Colonial Conference, has a younger brother, Landon Delaney, who also plays at West Deptford. As this ball's grounded to first base, Diffley to short, throw to first. There's nobody covering, and the run will score. So that'll be a 3-6 fielder's choice. Delaney does bring in the run, but I don't know if they would have completed the double play, and honestly, I don't know if it was worth the risk, because if you ask me, if he tries throwing it to a first base player that's not there, even if he tries to get Barham to cover first, chance that ball gets thrown away, and you'd rather cut your losses, let the 1 run come in, and then attack with runners in the corners here versus Joe Mayer. Barham looks over at first. 5 runs, 7 hits in the first 3 innings for the Roadrunners, as that one's away. 1 ball, no strikes to Mayer. Had an RBI double as a part of the 3-run second inning. Mayer takes a strike. It's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. That one's outside. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And a strike call, 2-2. If the inning continues, it'll be Alex Apicella, which Brookdale certainly does not want to face with traffic on after his 2-run home run in the second part.
Absolutely not. Alex Apicella adding that home run, 6 home runs in the season so far for him. Absolutely outstanding. Key contributor to the Roadrunners' offensive. Amazing talent.
Time called. We've got a pitch clock violation called by the third base umpire. 3-2. Rarely do pitch clock violations get called. The clock is held by the umpires, but I was talking with another coach about it because it's been installed for 2 years now, but it's rarely been an issue. But it's 3-2. Fly ball popped up. Shallow right field. Gardner is there. Oh, and he dropped it. He overran it. Rosado scores, Delaney scores, and to second base goes Joe Mayer as a fatal mistake in right makes it 7-3 as another 3 runs come home, and 2 more that time on that fly ball to right. It's an error on the right fielder. Wow, that is a gut-wrenching mistake by Casey Gardner.
That's one thing about baseball. Even the smallest mistake can make up for a bunch of plays. Can't have that happen, especially in a regional championship game.
I mean, that definitely looked like the sun. I'm just looking up above us. That definitely, I think the ball got lost in the sun. And now, what Brookdale was not looking to do is face Alex Apicella in this situation.
And that's one thing about baseball. Even playing in a perfect condition, sunny weather, stuff like that can even happen. You got to be careful. You got to be on it at all times.
Outside, 1-1. As we said, the right-hander Matt Koenig warming up in the bullpen for Brookdale. He's now standing around waiting to see if Johnson will call him in, as there's a ground ball. Chopper over the middle. Tough play for Smale, and he bobbles it. He boots it, and now the ball gets away. Another run will score. Back-to-back errors, and Johnny Johnson popped up from his chair. He is irate at his fielders for back-to-back errors. And the Roadrunners now lead by 5 runs. It's 8-3. And remember, in the championship round, there are no mercy rules, so we will play 9 no matter what.
We're expecting some high-scoring baseball in this game. You have the 2 Battle of the Blues. You have the Jersey Blues and the Blues themselves of the Roadrunners. Their colors are also blue. So we're going to see a high-scoring game coming in.
Chopper by Mestero is foul.
Well, that's one thing. When you play rivals, you gotta expect a high-scoring game. You gotta expect you can't have mistakes happening like this, because this can what cost you.
Well, I would say the high-scoring game is more of a factor of the fact that junior college pitching is not all that prolific. It's a hitter's league for sure, and we talked about it before. But Brookdale is the 3rd lowest team ERA in the nation of Division III programs. They're 3.56. The Roadrunners are top 20 in the nation, and their ERA is up over 5.11 by their pitchers. That goes to show it really is a hitter-dominant league and a hitter-dominant division in NJCAA. As that one's going to go the other way. And you're seeing it now by the fact that it's 8-3 in the 3rd inning, and who knows what Brookdale can respond with after scoring 3 in the 2nd. So Mestero with a base hit. Slogic will bat, and this is going to be the 9th batter. And just to think that this is all because of a dropped fly ball in right field off the bat of Joe Mayer. This would not have happened without it. And we would have been out of the inning. Would have been the 3rd out, would have been in the top of the 4th, and this inning has spiraled because of that play. 2 outs, 2 on after the base hit by Mestero. He's now 2 for 3. Slogic takes a strike on the outside corner. But Brookdale going into this game 41-10-1. RCSJ 38-10. RCSJ had the regular season championship, hence why they had the #1 seed in this tournament. As a ground ball got ahead of it, but it's foul. 0-2. Izzo led off the inning and came around to score. He will be the 10th batter of the inning if he came up. If not, for Brookdale, in the top of the 4th, it'll be 7, 8, and 9. Diffley, Gardner, and Tan. But what we know from prior experience in this tournament, it does not matter where you hit in the lineup. Both of these teams are extremely productive, all positions 1 through 9. That one's up and away, 1-2.
Absolutely. And Dan, what would you say that Brookdale needs to do in this moment to come back from this?
Don't worry about the 4 runs. Don't worry even about the 5-run deficit. You can't take the lead on a 5-run swing. You just have to chip away at it one piece at a time. And that's what Brookdale does best. I think that it really, this 4-run inning, doesn't move the needle for me too much. As Slogic, fly ball, left field. This one's down the line. This one might stay up, and it will. All the way back at the warning track. A nail-biter in left as Gary Perrone brings it in. But going to the top of the 4th inning, it's the Roadrunners 8 and the Jersey Blues 3 here from Camden. Roadrunners 8, Jersey Blues 3. 8 runs, 8 hits. But that doesn't tell the whole story. A 2-out rally in the bottom of the 3rd inning. There was a fly ball to right. Casey Gardner lost it in the sun, and it allowed 2 runs to score. And another costly error at short ended up allowing another to score. 9 batters, all told, came up for RCSJ. Apologies. Video ran for a little bit too long there. It's 0-2. Hey, we all work together around here. It's 7, 8, 9. Diffley, Gardner, and Tan. Whenever I see my producer panic, that means I did something wrong. So I have to step in and swoop in. Here's the 0-2. No one's outside.
That's one thing about Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We work as a crew together.
Yes.
We are a team.
I don't mean to brag, but I don't see any other broadcast company that lists our crew members on the break screen. I make sure all of our folks get credit. If they're working the broadcast, because they absolutely are the reason why this happens. I mean, you, Mackenzie, coming here, both of you guys, Vincent and Mackenzie, coming here the day after you guys walked Mackenzie from Montclair State. Were you going anywhere for grad school, or that's going to be it?
So right now I am actually interning at the World Cup this summer and working in Live Golf. I'm very, very excited. I'll be up at the New York, New Jersey Stadium because you can't say MetLife. But I'll be there. I'll be working those games, the games leading up to it. I'll be working the final, so I'm very excited. I am actually open to grad school, but as of right now, I'm working the summer, and we'll see where it takes me. But if I'm looking at grad school, I'm looking at a master's in sports management.
Well, best of luck to you, Mackenzie.
Thank you so much, Dan.
I'm sure the World Cup's going to be very exciting up there.
It's going to be so cool. And
but just the games in New York, not in Philly.
Yes, I'm actually, because my school, Montclair, is partnered.
Oh, that would make sense. It's a Montclair thing. Got it.
Yes, North Jersey got to be partnered up with the New York, New Jersey Stadium. So that's why I'll be working those games, not the ones in Philly.
That makes sense. I'm excited for the World Cup in general. I think it's going to bring a lot of excitement to the area, going to bring a lot of great new people here to see New Jersey and Pennsylvania. That'll be low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gardner.
Remember, you can't walk it.
What's that?
You can't walk
You cannot walk to MetLife Stadium or New York, New Jersey Stadium. That is true.
So funny seeing those memes.
That is very funny. It's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Although, to be fair, you can't really walk to Lincoln Financial Field either. I mean, I guess you could, but it's not. I mean, it's in its own little cluster. It's going to be It will be very difficult to do. But Gardner's got a 1-2 count. After Diffley went down on the fly ball to left field, Okendo with 6 strikeouts, and that one's low. He struck out 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and 2 more in the third. And as you said, Mackenzie, just through 25 innings, he's got 46 strikeouts. Averaged per 9 innings, 16 per game. Now, of course, most of his work has been relief work, which kind of does inflate those numbers. You know, a guy like Joan Duran or Mason Miller is going to have 13, 14 strikeouts per 9 innings, but Joan Duran or Mason Miller are never going to pitch 9 innings in a game. So, you know, Oquendo kind of transforming into this starter role still as a high strikeout arm has been interesting to watch as it's 3-2. Oquendo had a bad miss on the breaking ball. The count's full. After him will be Ryan Tan, the second baseman. Three balls, 2 strikes. Line drive. Diving, catch at third, Alex Apicella. What a play. Alex Apicella has had some nice plays. He jumped up to grab a ball earlier and now goes full extension on the turf. That's a web gem for out number 2.
42, Ryan Tan.
Absolute key player to this game so far. With the home run earlier, too, he really is stepping up, and that is what the Roadrunners need. They have to win this game in order to play the next game if they want to win the region championship. So players like that is why Roadrunners are leading this game so far.
0-1 to Tan. He grounded out to third base in his first at bat. One ball, 1 strike to Tan. One. Low, skips away. In the bottom of the 4th inning for RCSJ, after batting 9, it'll be Izzo, Rosado, and Cohen. 5, 6, and 7 for the Roadrunners. But Brookdale, 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors in the field. RCSJ, 8 runs, 8 hits, 1 error in the field. There is a right-hander getting ready for RCSJ, not fully throwing yet, but getting stretched out, getting ready to go. We'll have a look at that in just a second, but it's 3-1. Oquendo kicks and delivers. Strike called, 3-2.
Oquendo is pitching strong in this game, but that's one thing. You got to make sure that you change out your pitchers, especially if you're looking to play a game right afterwards. You got to make sure that the pitchers are as healthy as possible.
Well, the 3-2 is a swing and a miss. He got him. 7 strikeouts for Victor Oquendo as he picks up another to end the inning. 1-2-3 as it's a 5-run lead for RCSJ in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Heard that. I mean, I got some hot records. I got the rain. I got what should I do next? All right, look, you know what? Look, I'm
Nick Izzo leads us off with the tune to Wild Wild West. Well, this game for sure has been the Wild Wild West. It's 8-3. New pitcher for Brookdale is Matt Koenig, the right-hander. 8 runs, 8 hits in the first 3 innings. Not the best line for Jeff Barham, but there's still time for Brookdale to turn it around. Matt Koenig out of Manasquan High School, 6'4", 200 pounds. Comes into this game with a 7-4 win-loss record. 30 2/3 innings, 5.5 ERA, 2.05 whip, and 42 strikeouts. Izzo, Rosado, and Cohen. I'll let my music nerd side shine for a bit. I had that album, that Will Smith album on CD. Loved it growing up. The song Wild Wild West is a sample from Stevie Wonder called I Wish from Songs in the Key of Life. So I love when that song is played. Also, shout out to our folks behind us, Rich Cooper, Maria Kirby, and Mike Wolverton. They've done an excellent job with presentation in this tournament, with keeping the music mixed up, and the Region 19 coordinator, JD DiGiacomo. They've done an excellent job. This tournament has lived up to the hype and the expectations. It really feels like a big game.
It does.
All games this weekend have felt like big games, and it's felt like we're not missing out on anything by being here. We are here for the top-of-the-line entertainment and quality on the field.
Absolutely. It does really feel like you're watching a championship game, as we are with the region championship. And it's amazing seeing the RCSJ staff really coming through, supporting, traveling into this game, and really supporting with that. So thank you guys so much.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Izzo. Izzo walked in his first at bat. 2-2. Izzo had a sacrifice fly in the first inning, walked in the third. Roadrunners scored 4 runs in the bottom of the third. They were able to get it across thanks to a badly timed error with 2 outs in right field by Casey Gardner, and then another error after that. Koenig, the 2-2. Delivers that one high, and that one also pops out of the glove of Ryan Adams. Three balls, 2 strikes. Koenig, ready. Kicks and delivers. That's ball 4. And Izzo takes his second walk of the day. Can't help but feel that this game is starting to slip from Brookdale. I mean, it's still only the 4th inning, but remember, there's no mercy rule. There's no escape plan. If you can't get out of it, the runs and the hits will keep on coming. There is no relenting of this game. So if RCSJ continues to get offense on the board, this could be a very long first game. And then Brookdale is going to have to keep their confidence up if they lose, because they're 2-0 on the day. If you lose once, you've got to come back with about a 30-minute break and play game 2. And that's not going to be easy by any means.
Not at all, especially when you're coming up confident already going in and losing such an important game that they could have won the whole thing with already. That is a momentum change, and the Roadrunners would be riding off a high, so you got to make sure that you go in confident as always.
This one's fouled back by Rosado, and it's 0-2. To Rosado. Low and away.
Now that's one thing about this game. You have beautiful sunny weather, but it is super windy.
Yeah, that's how it always is at Camden. I mean, I actually made a comment about it yesterday, that the fact that it wasn't windy, the fact that the flag behind us at the Cooper Street building was tame, I actually said that was not normal, because this wind is the norm here. As that one's away, 2-2. But the thing is that you can partially thank the Delaware River for it, because we talk about the river winds coming off of the river. The wind is almost always blowing in here, which makes it by proxy a pitcher's park. But we have seen a few home runs hit in this tournament, a few by the Roadrunners, a few by really all teams. I think Camden was the only team that did not homer in the tournament, as this one's fouled back. And still 2-2 with Cohen on deck.
It may be windy, but it sure is a beautiful view.
Always. I mean, this field is, I've mentioned it ad nauseum in this weekend, is that it's a bucket list place, a bucket list venue for pretty much every team in South Jersey. I talk to a lot of South Jersey high school baseball coaches, and they always talk about, hey, can we get a game at Rutgers Camden?
Yes.
Can we play at Rutgers Camden? You know, who wants to play a game at Rutgers Camden? Everybody wants to play here. It's convenient. It's right under the bridge. You know, parking's a little bit rough, but honestly, it is the best baseball single-purpose venue in South Jersey, and there's a reason why marquee tournaments get played here. As a fly ball jam shot to center field, it drops. Gets past Smale. He'll cut it off. Before it got to Mulhern. Now the throw gets away. Runner's going to go to second with nobody there, and Diffley won't have a play. So how about that? A jam shot into center field. That'll be a hit and an error. So the runner gets to third in Izzo. Rosado, it'll be a base hit and then an E6 on Smale for throwing the ball away. And Brookdale has really struggled with defense, which is something they didn't do in the first couple of games. They've now got 3 in the first 4 innings. Strike called, 0-1. Infield in on all fronts for Brookdale. The 0-1, up and away. Cohen 1 for 2. Ground ball to second in the first inning, singled in the third part. And the Roadrunners, after scoring 8 runs in 3 innings, 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third. We'll see how much they can explode for in inning number 4. The 1-1 fly ball to center field. With still nobody out in the inning, it's going to be Smale who makes the catch, and Izzo wisely holds up at third. That was another play where you didn't really know if that was going to come down or not, or who it was going to come down to, as Carter Comiskey will be the batter. But the pop out to short is the first out of the inning. Comiskey is 0 for 2, and it's hard to believe, but in just 4 innings, Comiskey is the last man standing as the only batter not to reach base today. Everybody else has reached base at least once, and 6 of the Roadrunners' 9 hitters have reached twice or more. Line drive, caught! And he's going to go to second for a double play. He got him! What a turnaround. Brookdale makes the catch. Dawson Smale brings it in. And he gets the runner out at second to retire the side. What a play by the shortstop, Dawson Smale. And they keep the Roadrunners at bay with a nail-biter. But they still lead by 5. After 4 innings, it's 8-3.
You gotta ride, big guns and a lot of zip ties. Said she look like me, quit lying.
Welcome back. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper Driving School pass on their first attempt. You can book an appointment today at Suite 4 as there's a base hit in the center field. Ray Mulhern, base hit to lead off the fifth. You can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, New Jersey at 614 Lambs Road, just minutes from Route 55.
Shortstop, number 7, Dawson Smale.
Mulhern now 2 for 3. Base hit in the second, drove in a run. Now a base hit in the top of the fifth inning. After a lively second, the Jersey Blues was just one above the minimum in the third and fourth. Oquendo took down the side in order in the fourth. And the only thing that they had in the third was a one-out single, but nothing else. 1-0 from Oquendo. Strike called.
It's interesting to see that Oquendo is still pitching. You would think they would do a pitching change.
I mean, in a normal game, yes. But remember what the stakes are here. The Roadrunners, if they want to win the tournament, they will have to play 2 games no matter what. We have seen pitchers throwing to the brink in these first few games. In the first game that we saw all weekend, Nick Anderson threw 119 pitches in 7 1/3 innings. I don't think there's any regular season game where a pitcher is going to throw that much. But Middlesex needed his high usage to win the game. So you are absolutely going to see pitchers throw an inning or 2 more than they may be comfortable with just because that is what's needed of them. The needs and responsibilities of the team in a playoff game are going to be far different than in the regular season. This one's jammed foul, still 2-2. For Smale, who's third in the nation in batting average, behind Dalton Harper of SUNY Niagara. He's one of just 3 players in the nation to be batting over 500 with a minimum of 100 at bats. 2-2. Ball is low. Rosado saves it, and he walks back, checking on Mulhern's honesty at first base. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out.
And that's another thing we've seen with the D1 pipeline. Dawson Smale was actually a player at Xavier.
Over in Cincinnati, the Big East program, as that one is strike 3 outside half of the plate. And Smale has now struck out 3 times.
The next batter for the Jersey Blues, designated hitter number 28, Gabe Tomey.
So Gabe Tomey is the batter, the DH. In the 3 slot for Brookdale. 0 for 2. Brookdale with 3 runs, 6 hits, but they have had 3 errors in the field. That has really tarnished their resume here in the championship round, at least so far. Low, 1-0. One ball, no strikes to Tomey. Gary Perrone, the third on deck with 1 away, barring a double play. But 15 total hits in the first 4 innings of the game. But an 8-3 game really shows the disparity there. As it's 2-0. Here at the Camden Athletic Complex, home of Rutgers Camden baseball. Open to the public in 2021. As there's a strike, 2-1. Of course, we're standing on top of the former site of Campbell's Field, which if you look up photos of Campbell's Field, the beige pillar, the brick pillar in center field this field was rotated by somewhere between 75 and 60 degrees to make this field face the bridge. Campbell's Field was still very nice, of course, and it was the home of the Camden River Sharks for 15 years. But where right field is just about where center field was at the home of the River Sharks. So I would argue they actually changed the view to make this field more picturesque on the new reconfiguration. That's ball 4 to Tomey. Puts Mulhern on second, and it's a 5-pitch walk. And in the top of the 5th inning, it'll now be Gary Perrone. And Rosado took a tough shot off the glove. He took his helmet off, and now he's hurt. So at least Spalding will come out and attend to Rosado. Rosado also was hurt in the yesterday. He had a wild pitch that bounced up off the turf, and he wasn't wearing a neck guard, so the ball hit him in his neck. And he had the wind knocked out of him, but he was able to stay in the game. But I'm not sure what hit him or how he was hurt. Wonder if maybe the ball took a tough shot off of his glove, because he did have to take that ball away. Or he's right-handed, so yeah, he had to take that ball way off of his left hand, and maybe it jammed off of one of his fingers or something. So Rosado, there's Rob Valley out there. He is shaking off his left hand, his glove hand, so. But again, at least Spalding in the black hat checking on him. Rowan College's athletic trainer. And as we said, there is another right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Roadrunners. That's number 23, Dan Hutchinson, warming up. Rosado will stay in the game, and Hutchinson will be called upon. So that is it for Vic Oquendo. He struck out 8 batters, but a handful of hits and a handful of bad bounces cuts his day short after 4 1/3 innings. The right-hander, Dan Hutchinson, comes in. We will return with 2 runners on in the top of the 5th.
Now pitching for the Roadrunners, number 23, Dan Hutchison.
Dan Hutchinson, new pitcher for Roadrunners for RCSJ. Gary Perone III will be the first hitter that he faces. The right-hander, freshman from Jackson Memorial. He has started 6 games. This is only his 4th appearance out of the bullpen. 4 wins, 2 losses. 30 2/3 innings, 7.34 ERA, 32 Ks, and a 1.30 whip, as the first batter will be Perone, and he'll take a strike. It's 0-1. Perone, in the game so far, has contributed 1 for 2, strikeout and a single. He'll try to do more of the second at-bat than the first, as he tries to drive in a run and start chipping away at this deficit after both teams went down scoreless in the 4th. But quickly, 0-2. Perone and then Pizzuti. He's 1 for 2, single and a strikeout. Just the other way around than Perone. The 0-2. Outside. Rosado really likes to set up his pitchers outside on 0-2. It's a bit different than what the traditional pitchers used to do with the waste pitch on 0-2. You try to spike it in the dirt and try to get him to chase on a ball that's low, but in this case, he's more setting up away, and this time he moves inside. So let's say it's a modified version of the waste pitch, and it's out number 1 as the batter will be Pizzuti. So the 9th strikeout by Roadrunner pitching.
Now batting Anthony Pizzuti.
As Pizzuti will bat. 2 on and 2 away. That's a strike called. 0-1. Mulhern singled, and Tomei walked, and that forced Okendo out of the game. Swing and a miss. Maybe a foul tip that time. It's 0-2. In the bottom of the 5th for the Roadrunners, it will be 9-1-2, Delaney, Mayer, and Apicella. As we said, it does not matter what slot of the lineup you're in. Everybody has been productive.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with that. Anthony Pizzuti has .412 for a batting average and 67 runs, 70 hits going into this game, 4 home runs previously, so he is no stranger to contributing to Brookdale. Sophomore, 6'4" as well from Lyndhurst, New Jersey.
That one's away, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, and 2 on. Deuces wild here for Hutchinson. Poked into right field. Couldn't have placed it any better. It'll land in front of Mastaro. Green light from third. This throw is coming to the plate. He is safe. Mulhern comes in. It's an RBI single for Anthony Pizzuti, and it's 8-4. 4-run lead for the Roadrunners as Hutchinson allows a hit.
And that's what you talked about, Dan, earlier. The Brookdale, they need to just chip away at the deficit so far.
Adams, the batter. Adams, 1 for 2. Brookdale now with 4 runs, 7 hits, as the strike is called. But if RCSJ can give you a 2-out rally, and we'll see if Brookdale can do the same. No balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. Line drive, grounder into left field, a base hit. Another green light from third. On his horse, the throw from Izzo is cut off, and the ball skips away. It hits Johnson's chair. Hutchinson picks it up, and the runners get down to second and third. A single and an error. The ball was thrown away. Apicella, he didn't even throw the ball. The ball just ricocheted. It caromed off of his glove, and it came maybe inches from going out of play. As the batter will be Diffley, Adams drives in the run.
The first baseman, number 34, Tom Diffley.
And I believe it'll be a single. I'm not sure if the error would be called on the left fielder for the throw or the third baseman for the ricochet, but that'll be up and in. Diffley almost got hit. But it brings home another run. Pizzuti now finds himself on third. 2 runs across, it's 8-5. Hutchinson, the 1-0. Strike called, 1-1. Hutchinson looking to get out of this jam as you blink and you miss it, but the tying run is at the plate. Outside, 2-1. Not a cloud in sight from Camden, New Jersey at the Camden Athletic Complex. You're watching coverage of the NJCAA Region 19 Championship between Rowan College of South Jersey and the Brookdale Jersey Blues. As that one's up and away, 3-1. Here's the stakes. If Brookdale wins, the series is over, and they will win the Region 19 Championship for the 2nd year in a row. If RCSJ wins Game 1, we will play a do-or-die Game 2 about 30 minutes after Game 1 concludes. That is the placeholder link on our YouTube page. So to watch Game 2, it'll be under the live tab on YouTube on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. The 3-1, and that is strike call. Diffley 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runs across for the Jersey Blues. As that one's fouled back. Ooh, that got a big piece of the umpire, Leone, behind the plate. And now his crew going in to check on him. Again, your umpires for today, it's Joe Leone behind the plate. Ben DiCostanzo is your crew chief at first base, and Dan Irvin is the third base umpire. All in the powder blues for this sunny day. Sure, they don't want to be wearing their black tops for an 80-degree day, but 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runs home, and 2 runners on. The ultimate deuce is wild. As the 3 balls, 2 strikes pitch from Hutchinson is a ground ball foul, lands on top of the Brookdale dugout, and the at-bat stays alive. If the inning continues, after him will be Casey Gardner, who had the 2-run double to open up Brookdale's scoring in the second. But he would need a big hit because that error in right field that he had, he'll need some redemption for that, for sure.
Absolutely.
The 3-2. That one's high. Ball 4, and he will get his chance at redemption with the bases loaded. And Victor Oquendo came out with 1 out in the inning.
Now batting number 24,
Hutchinson
right fielder Casey
struck
Gardner.
out the first batter, but has now put the next 3 on. Back-to-back RBI singles. And now Gardner bats with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 8 slot. Before we can get anything, Rob Valley will ice this at bat with a mound visit. Gardner, 1 for 2, 2-run double in the second inning. Line out to third base in the 4th.
Gardner has a batting average of .404 with 49 runs and 57 hits and 4 home runs. He is a sophomore at 6'3" from Farmingdale. This is a big event going in for him because he made that mistake earlier, so he's gonna want to make up and redeem for his team.
Valley still talking it over, and Leone will come out and break this up. So he'll come off, and still nobody warming up for RCSJ. It's more of a pep talk, if you will. You know, going to do the best they can to get around and get out of the jam. But the bases are loaded for Casey Gardner. He is the go-ahead run in the top of the 5th inning. Brookdale has already deposited 2 runs. That's the first pitch from Hutchinson. Inside, it hit him, and the run scores. It must have grazed his jersey as it comes in for Pizzuti, and it's 8-6. Did I not say that when it was a 5-run game that I didn't feel like this was over?
Number 42,
I mean, obviously you want to leave the door open, but Hutchinson hits, and hits is a bit of a stretch there. As Gardner gets hit, it scores the run with the bases loaded, and now it's 10. Time called by the catcher.
Yes, unfortunate for the Roadrunners, but that's what Brookdale needs to do. We talked about this throughout this game so far. If Brookdale wants to come back from this deficit, they just need to chip away. And we've seen it, and we're slowly closing the gap right now in scores.
Top of the 5th inning, 8-6, tying run on second base. This one is jammed, and it's stopped at second base by Cohen. Throw to first is not in time, and the run scores. Ryan Tan, infield single. Bang, bang play. A sliding stop by Cohen was unsuccessful, and it's 8-7. This is unbelievable if Brookdale can complete this comeback.
Center fielder number 5.
It moves Gardner to second, Diffley to third. Adams scored. I mean, that might have been a step that separated the third out from the inning.
Wow.
And the fourth run coming in. Don't go anywhere. I mean, my goodness.
This is rivalry baseball at its peak. This is a key championship baseball.
Outside. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0. Misses. 2 balls, no strikes. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 8-7. Mulhern, the 10th batter of the inning, as the Jersey Blues have batted around. Hutchinson, the 2-0. Mulhern takes outside, 3-0. If the inning continues after him, let's say if the inning continues, the game is tied. But Dawson Smale would be on deck. And you already don't want to face Ray Mulhern, the nation's leader in hits. But you don't want to face the guy that's third in batting average either. Strike called, gets the red light. It's 3-1. Mulhern, 2 hits, both singles. He's 2 for 3, and he has an RBI. Ball 4, game tied. Ray Mulhern, patience pays off, and Brookdale has come all the way back to tie it in the 5th, 8-8. This is unbelievable.
Shortstop, number 7, Dawson Smith.
Absolutely amazing inning for Brookdale. They're absolutely electric right now in the bullpen.
And Johnny Johnson will come out and talk to his current batter in Smale, his on-deck batter in Tomey. And Dawson Smale has a chance to send this Brookdale dugout into another dimension if they can pull this off. Warming up in the bullpen out of Downingtown, Pennsylvania is the southpaw Kevin Ruff. Outside, Rosado saves it. This backstop is neither shallow or deep, but there's a lot of ricochets that can happen. So if the ball does get away, wouldn't be surprised if you see something come in here. But at the same time, the runner at third is Gardner. Don't know how much speed he's got on that breakaway play. 2-0. Diffley scored on the last play. Gardner on third, Tan on second, Mulhern on first. This is batter number 11, and Smale was the first out of the inning. And the last strikeout that Victor Oquendo had many moons ago, it feels like, because that one fouled back off the netting, and it's 2-1. 5 runs for Brookdale. They've come all the way back in a game that could decide the difference between playing at 3 o'clock today or a second straight Region 19 title for the Jersey Blues. The 2-1. Strike, 2-2. And the on-deck circle will be Gabe Tomey, the DH, if the inning continues. But an 8-8 tie game. Hutchinson, the 2-2. Jam foul over our heads. Onto the soccer field behind us, and it's 2-2. Tomey in the on-deck circle, if he comes up, he's 0 for 2. Strikeout, ground out, and a walk in the inning. He was the last batter that Oquendo faced, which means that this is now the 8th batter that Hutchinson has faced, and he's only recorded a third of an out. The Roadrunners have to be careful with their pitching usage, not to give up too much. Ground ball, third base side. Apicella's there. He'll tag the bag, and the inning is over. But Brookdale has stormed back to tie the game. They leave the bases loaded, but they score 5 runs, and this game is a brand new ball game again. It's 8-8 at the halfway mark. Go to the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th inning. Can you believe that we're only halfway done this first game? It's 2:03. We're up over the 2-hour mark, and there's been 16 total runs scored as Delaney fouls it back down the third base line. And it's 0-1. 9-1-2 for the Roadrunners. Delaney, Mayer, and Apicella in a game that has been truly wild. The Roadrunners led by 5 runs, and the Jersey Blues took 11 batters, 4 hits, 3 walks, and it took a pitching change for the Roadrunners to get out of the inning with Dan Hutchinson, who got 2/3 of an inning, but certainly not the prettiest way to do it, as Delaney chops one up the first base line. It's high in the air, but it's foul, and it's now 0-2. Delaney has an RBI in the 4th inning. Or, pardon, no, excuse me, had to flip the lineup card around. He does have an RBI, but it came back in the 3rd. Also was hit by pitch in his first at-bat, his first plate appearance. Ball missed, 1-2. But Matt Koenig looking to be the innings eater of this game. It's the 1-2. Delaney, jam shot again, foul down the third base line. Still 1-2. That one doesn't go. 2-2. To the 9-hitter, Delaney. Fouled back. It's still 2-2. 5 runs across for Brookdale in the 5th. That came after 2 quiet innings with only 1 base runner in the 3rd and or 4th. Roadrunners have scored in every inning except for the 4th. It's outside, 3-2. No action in the Brookdale bullpen, but now that the game is tied, I feel like their confidence level is reset, and now you probably won't see anything for Brookdale until trouble arises again, which I feel like it's not a matter of if, but when. There's the 3-2. Delaney hits a ball deep to right field, going back Gardner. This one is going to stay in the, no, it will hit off the middle of the wall in right center field. Delaney will stop there. That ball was tagged pretty well, but it's a double, And Delaney cracks one to right center, just over the head of Gardner to give himself a leadoff hit. Good piece of hitting there on the 3-2. Worked the count full. He got everything he wanted. He was down, well, obviously you don't want to be down 0-2, but he was down, fought back, fouled a couple balls off, and then roped a double to right center field. Infield trailing in a little bit. Diffley moving in at first base as that one misses up and out, 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Mayer popped way up. Diffley out towards right field. Tan down the line. Tan dives back and makes the play. Out number 1. Tough play by Tan over there, especially battling the sun. And also having to go towards the chalk in right field. We mentioned before that across all 3 games, Tan has made some great plays at second base. Diving stops, sliding catches. He's had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, Tan has actually been a huge contributor for Brookdale. Not even just for that, but batting as well, with a 358 batting average, 42 runs, and 52 hits, only being 5'7" as a sophomore. That's another thing I always say with baseball, height doesn't matter.
What do they say, heart over height?
There you
exactly.
go.
It's been a lot of heart for both teams, all 4 teams in this tournament. As Apicella grounds this one, second base, Tan is there, he'll throw to first, and it's low, but in time. Diffley able to scoop it up. It moves Delaney to third. That's out number 2, but the Roadrunners will need to get a ball down from Jack Mastero to score Delaney and take the lead back.
Jack Mastero.
So Apicella with the 4-3 ground out. But to recap all of the games in this tournament, we started out with Middlesex upsetting RCSJ 13-5. As you said in the Open, Mackenzie, it's the 3rd year in a row that the Roadrunners have lost their first game, but have stormed back to make it to the championship. As Mastero cracks a ball to center field, Mulhern going back. This one towards the warning track. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over. Brookdale keeps the game tied as a fly ball to center catches in the glove of the center fielder, Mulhern. He's quite a quick guy. And we'll see in the top of the 6th inning, an 8-8 tie game. Gabe Tomey to batter in the top of the 6th inning. Roadrunners did not take the lead. They left a runner on third. 3, 4, and 5 for the Jersey Blues. Tomey, Perrone, and Pizzuti. 5 runs in the top of the 5th to tie the game. Low and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
The Jersey Blues are looking to go up in scoring. Dan, what would you say that the Roadrunners need to do right now?
Well, I would say, with all due respect to Hutchinson, he was throwing a lot of balls behind the plate in his warm-ups. I think Roadrunners need to get rough in the game sooner rather than later. I mean, Hutchinson's a good pitcher, but I feel like his confidence is entirely drained after the 5-run inning.
Yeah.
I would like to see the Roadrunners make a change after this batter, because especially with Perone being a lefty, if your first batter can be a lefty-lefty matchup with Kevin Ruff on the mound, that could really change the pace and set for a good tone here in the 6th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tomei, 0 for 2. Strikeout, ground out, and a walk. And Perone, who's in the on-deck circle, is 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a single. That one's away, 2-2. Feels like that off-speed is what's been getting Hutchinson. His fastballs have been fine, but when he throws the changeup or the slider, it almost always misses away, and a lot of times it's not really close. Hutchinson's 2-2. Line in a right field foul towards the bullpen.
Hutchinson, only a freshman, 9 games going into this, so not that much experience playing for the Roadrunners. He has pitched 30.2 innings.
Yeah, we saw Kevin Ruff earlier in the season when RCSJ played Bergen, and that was a high-scoring game too. RCSJ won 21-11, and that was a 10-run rule. Here's the 2-2. Golfed in the left center field. Izzo goes in, and he'll make the catch, out number 1.
That's one thing about those Roadrunners. When you are playing as RCSJ, expect a high-scoring game about to occur.
Left fielder number 3, Gary John Perot.
Well, one thing that's a part of that, and I think has really played a factor in a lot of people's maybe decision-making or thinking about junior college, is that, you know, Brookdale has the 3rd lowest team ERA in the nation. We'll bring that number up after this pitch as that was a strike call to Gary John Perone. There's your stat on the right side of your screen. Northern Essex has the lowest team ERA in the nation at 2.07. SUNY Niagara is right behind him at 2.94. Brookdale at 3.56. That means in the entire country, there's only 3 teams, as there's a rocket. Deep right field, Gary John Perone, touch them all! Jersey Blues lead, 9-8. Gary John Perone. Look out below. So speaking of ERA, that ball was crushed to right field. It's Perone's first home run of the tournament. And Brookdale, for the first time since the 2nd inning, leads.
This is absolutely huge for Brookdale. You can see their energy rivaling through, as you can see over there by the bullpen. Brookdale's finally up in this game, and they want to win again as region champions against the Roadrunners, who have won the national championships the last 3 years in a row. This is absolutely big, and Brookdale's really capitalizing off of this.
And it was an 8-3 lead that the Roadrunners had just a few innings ago as the 1-1. Pizzuti, fly ball, right field straight away. Slogic's going out. This one actually looks pretty shallow. Not as shallow as I thought. Nick Slogic went all the way out to right field to make that play, or at least assist with the play, as Jack Mastero made it, and it's out number 2. Taking a look at that stat again, we saw Brookdale was 3rd in the nation. Herkimer at a 4.20, Rochester Tech 4.54, and Alexandria Tech of Virginia 4.57. RCSJ is 12th in the nation. Camden and Middlesex in the top 25. Those were the 2 teams eliminated. First pitch. Strike called, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hutchinson still in the game after giving up the go-ahead home run. And a big swing and a miss. Adams chased one away. Maybe a two-seam fastball that time. Had a little bit of a break out from Hutchinson. 2 outs, nobody on, but a run home in the biggest way of them all. A solo home run by Gary John Perone. The 1-2 outside.
Hutchinson has to be careful. He needs to just remain calm and focused. You can see him. He's getting a little discouraged as this game is going on. Understandably so, but if we want the Roadrunners to come back, we got to make sure that he is relaxed and calm as possible.
Time is called. Ball got thrown away from the bullpen in left field. The 2-2. Jammed foul. Off the bat of Adams. Brookdale 9, RCSJ 8. Top of the 6th inning. In the championship round of the NJCAA Region 19 baseball tournament as Adams goes down swinging, inning over. But no bigger swing than the one from Gary John Perone, who goes deep to right field and gives the Jersey Blues a 3-2 lead going to the bottom of the 6th here in Camden. Nick Slogic leads us off in the bottom of the 6th inning as he'll take that one high from Koenig. Brookdale only batted 4 in the 6th inning, but the one guy that got on was the biggest swing of the game so far. Gary John Perone, solo home run to right. It's a swing and a miss by Slogic. It's 5th in the nation in hits and 3rd in the nation in RBIs. The former product of James Madison University. Was going to be a 2-sport athlete at James Madison after graduating from Sachem High School East in Holbrook, New York on Long Island. He had an official visit with JMU, had pads on and jersey and everything, and I believe he was either wide receiver or tight end. I mean, certainly 6'5", you'd have to think tight end for Nick Slogic, but decided to play baseball at Rowan College, and in his sophomore season, he has been an electric player to watch. It's the 1-2.
Absolutely outstanding.
Outside.
And just because you go from playing in Division I in JUCO doesn't mean you're going down in talent-wise. We see a lot of JUCO products go on to play outstanding in Division I and go on to play into the majors. So him going to become a Roadrunner was a terrific choice for him.
Slogic flies this one. This one is high in the air to right. Gardner's going to want to avoid his mistake from earlier, and he does make the catch in right. first out of the 6th. And it'll be Nick Izzo now in the 5 slot for the Roadrunners. He is 0 for 1. Well, actually 0 for 0 because he has 2 walks and a sac fly to center field. We'll take a look at the train passing by. I will have to say, the video that everybody saw when we opened up the broadcast, that was from the window of the Patco train passing by. And it's something I had thought about doing. I was actually going to do it yesterday, but I kind of overslept my alarm. I woke up late, and I said, you know what? Here's what I ended up doing. I left the house at maybe 9 o'clock. I went to Walter Rand Transportation Center in Camden. There's I'm pretty sure it goes Broadway, Walter Rand, and then City Hall. And then you cross the bridge to go into Philly, and it goes to Franklin Square. So what I did is I went in the parking garage at Walter Rand. It was free parking because it's the weekend. I got on the train, literally walked up the stairs, came back down the stairs, and the train eastbound was there in 5 minutes. And I made sure I sat on the right side in a row where I couldn't be bothered, and had to time it right, had to exactly time it right to line up the video. But the good thing is I can now use that anytime we're at Rutgers Camden.
Yes.
Because you can see blue dots from the video, but you can't really tell who's on the field. So summer league game, high school game, college game, I can, I only have to do that once. I don't have to do that again. But Izzo takes a 4-pitch walk.
Now batting the catcher, number 11, Jaden Rosado.
Johnny Johnson, talking to the home plate umpire, not happy about the balls and strikes at all. But Johnny Johnson's head coach, who's going to speak his mind whether you like it or not. But I also think that these umpires are going to have added restraint in the championship game. You don't want to – I don't know how many times, if ever, you've seen an umpire throw out a manager in Game 7 of the World Series, but in the regular season, maybe he'd get a warning about it. But in the championship round, unfortunately, these guys just have to block out the noise.
But that's one thing about the Jersey Blues and the Roadrunners. They are long rivals across all sports. We have soccer, we have cross country, track and field, softball, and especially in baseball. These are 2 teams who are always rivals as years goes on. So we're going to see a lot of drama happen between the 2, and 2 teams who really, really want to win this region championship.
And again, Brookdale controls their destiny. It's a late throw. Adams did not get in there. It's a stolen base on a delayed throw, but that was closer than I thought for the fact that Adams had to kind of recoil his throw. Very interesting there, but 9-8 Jersey Blues. Bottom of the 6th inning, tying run on second base for Jaden Rosado. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Watch the runner at second. He'll throw to first. Diffley's there. Out number 2. That is just the second strikeout by Brookdale staff today. The starter in Jeff Barham only had 1. Now the reliever, Matt Koenig, also has 1, but really goes to show how consistently and almost scarily consistently how well RCSJ has put the bat on the ball here versus the Jersey Blues. As the first pitch is low and out.
And what we're seeing here is very strong pitching from the Jersey Blues. We have a second pitcher who's not even our starter pitcher, pitch consistently, and he's been a key contributor in why the Jersey Blues are up right now. Roadrunners haven't scored an inning since.
Yeah, they have not scored since Matt Koenig came into the game. That one's low. But again, your role is thrown out the window in the postseason. It reminds me of the 2014 World Series with Madison Bumgarner for the San Francisco Giants. Madison Bumgarner for his entire career was a starting pitcher. I don't think in the regular season he had ever, as this one's a pop-up third base side, this is going to go out of play. It's 2-1. I don't think Bumgarner, outside of maybe his rookie season, had ever pitched out of the bullpen. But in Game 7 of the World Series, the Giants and Royals were tied up, and he came in the 5th inning to replace the starter, Jeremy Affeldt. Bumgarner finished the game and got the Giants their 3rd ring in 4 years. a third ring in 5 years, pardon. But he was not a starter and made that happen in Game 7 of the World Series because it matters. There's a base hit in the center field for Gavin Cohen. Green light from third base. Izzo trucking around third. He will score, and the game is tied again. 9-9. As the hits keep on coming, it's double digits on both sides, and it probably won't be long until we have double-digit runs on both sides, too.
Next up, the designated
As it'll
hitter, number
be
19,
an
Carter
RBI
Comiskey.
single for Gavin Cohen. It's his second hit of the game, and the Roadrunners, after Gary John Perone's home run, have found their response, and it's the first run allowed out of the bullpen by Matt Koenig.
Up to bat, now we have Carter Kaminsky, our designated hitter, freshman, 6 foot from Milltown, New Jersey, 210 pounds. He is coming in hot. He needs to win this ahead.
0 for 3 today, as that one's outside. Very imperative that Brookdale gets out of this jam because you're in the 6th inning. Only 9 outs remain on each side. Your supply of outs are dwindling, and you don't want to get yourself in a deeper hole than you need. Is a high chopper. Throw to first. He got him. Comiskey thought he got in there, but he did not. And the inning is over. As a bang-bang play, Ryan Tan almost overran that ball. I don't think he was expecting that ball to bounce that high up off the turf. But going to the 7th inning, tied up at 9 on an RBI single off the bat of Gavin Cohen. Top of the 7th inning, this broadcast is brought to you by our friends over at the South Jersey chapter of the National Adult Baseball Association. As this ball is fly diffly down the right field line at 0-1. Over 20 teams across 4 highly competitive divisions, South Jersey NABA has everything you need for men's league baseball, whether you're an experienced athlete or somebody just looking to play for the first time. Visit their website at southjerseynaba.com as registration will open for the Fall League in June. And if you need any better testament, I play in South Jersey NABA in the A division. Don't get me wrong, I'm not very good, but just goes to show. I mean, listen, it's a lot of fun, and I'm very glad that Donovan Schmidt and Michael Sr. Out of that organization sponsor us, because they're actually a sponsor that I can, give a testament to, that they are definitely a very good league worth checking out as a fly ball. In the shallow right center field, Cohen makes the catch. Outstretched beyond the outfield grass, or beyond the infield dirt, pardon, and it's one away in the 7th as Diffley pops out to second base, and it brings up Casey Gardner. Gardner has had 2 very transformative at-bats. He gave Brookdale the first lead of the game with a 2-run double to right center field in the 2nd inning, but then he also he also was at the plate for a bases-loaded hit by pitch that scored run number 6. Run number 7 came on an RBI single, and run number 8 came one batter later on a Ray Mulhern RBI walk as a ground ball. This is going to be spiked to first. It gets away. That ball was thrown into the ground. It hits off of the netting, and we're going to put the runner on first.
Second baseman number
With
42,
one away.
Ryan Tan.
So an error on the shortstop, Mayer. First error in the field by the Roadrunners, and it'll be Tan, the batter. Tan in the 9th slot, RBI single in the 5th, and that transformative 5th inning. Ground ball, out to short, sliding stop. He loses his footing, throw to first is not in time. Tan gets in there. Tough play by Mayer. He lost his footing and had to throw the ball basically from the seat of his pants. But he makes the throw to second to Cohen for out number 2. It'll be a 6-4 fielder's choice. And Tan is retired at first. Or excuse me, Tan is safe at first.
Center fielder number
Gardner
5,
out at
Ray
second.
Mulhern.
Go back to the top of the order for Mulhern.
Ray Mulhern up to bat with a 462 batting average, 91 runs, 96 hits, and 1 home run from Manahawkin, New Jersey. Only a sophomore.
Freshman player at a Southern Regional down in Manahawkin. They've got a few players from Southern on the team, but there are a lot of Shore Conference products on Brookdale's team, which makes sense considering Brookdale based out of Lincroft in Monmouth County, right up the Jersey Shore, right near that Red Bank area and all the rest of it. One ball, no strikes to Mulhern in a tie game, 9-9. Hutchinson still finding his way through this game. As he gave up 4 runs, was responsible for 4 runs out of the 5 that scored in the 5th, not to mention the go-ahead home run by Perrone in the 6th. But as we said before, in a regular season game, Hutchinson would have been pulled a while back. But with the conservative approach that Rob Valley and Johnny Johnson have to take with their bullpen talent, considering the stakes of this game and the possibility of playing a second game, really changed the stakes and really changed the scenarios in which the bullpen pitchers are allocated. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 away, runner on. Nine runs on each side, 11 hits on each side. Strike called, and it's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Oh! Now Johnny Johnson's coming out. The inning is over. What happened? Was it a pitch clock violation? Let's listen in. Yeah, Mulhern arguing the call. Johnny Johnson is fired up. I'm not sure what the call is. He's telling him to go back to the dugout. And again, the umpires have to have a lot of restraint because you don't want to throw out a manager or a head coach in a championship game because that might send this game off the rails. But again, maybe a pitch clock violation, but we go to the bottom of the 7th. The game is tied. I have no idea, but we'll go to break. Welcome back. Bottom of the 7th inning. 9-9 game. By the way, the ruling on the field was that Ray Mulhern, the batter, did not address the pitcher, as in did not have eyes front or whatnot, within 8 seconds of the pitch clock. Now remember, the pitch clock, no matter the situation, no matter runners on base, is 20 seconds. Now the caveat with that is that there is no visible pitch clock on the field. The umpires keep the clock, and there's really no way of knowing, unless you're counting in your head, how much time you have to address the pitcher, or at least, face the pitcher to be ready and be set. So, not to play devil's advocate, but I mean, as much as it is the rule, I understand why Johnny Johnson is as upset as he is, because the pitch clock is the pitch clock. And we mentioned yesterday, I was talking with a good friend of ours, a head coach in NJCAA, and he mentioned that the pitch clock's been around for 2 years in NJCAA, but rarely has it been an issue because the hitters and the pitchers are so used to it that it's not that big of a deal. As the 2-1 is low to Delaney. It's 9-1 and 2. Delaney, Mayer, and Apicella in the 7th. But what I'll say is this game has had some pitch clock issues. There was a pitch clock violation on the pitcher, and now there's one on the batter, and it came with 2 strikes to end the inning. And strike called, 3-2. But that will only increase the tension in this game. And again, I said during the break, if that was a regular season game, I think Johnson would have been thrown out. But because it's the playoffs, because that's kind of the unwritten rule that you have to have a little bit more restraint to coaches' frustrations, as long as they're not being personal or personally attacking, Johnson was just saying it wasn't the right call. And he says it in the Johnny Johnson way, which is adamant and vehement, as that's going to be a base hit.
Absolutely, and that is normal with championship baseball. You're going to get heightened emotions. That's popular with players, with coaches alike. So umpires have to be able to understand and comprehend that.
And you know what? That's what also makes a good umpire. I think we see far too many times umpires that have a short fuse and are just willing to throw out anybody that they don't want to hear.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why the United Umpiring Association has done a great job assigning the umpires for this tournament, because there have been moments of high tension. There have been moments where Rob Valley was arguing with a call, or C.J. Mooney, or Johnny Johnson, or John Scanzano. I mean, John Scanzano filed a protest in the first game because of a batting order discrepancy. Now, of course, that protest was not upheld. It was there was a rule in the rule book that confirmed that Johnny Johnson's decision to put Gary John Perone in the game was correct and was allowed. But the 2-0 to Mayer is away. My main point in all of this is the good umpires are not just the ones that call balls and strikes correctly or call safe and out correctly. It's those that are the police of the game. They make sure that the game doesn't get out of hand. They make sure that the game doesn't, stall or skip around or get out of hand, because they are not only the enforcers of the game, but they're also the peacekeepers of the game.
Absolutely.
And that's been really interesting to see how these umpires have worked through that here in this tournament.
That's one thing about baseball, and even just all sports alike. Sports is passion, and what we're seeing here is true passion. You're seeing 2 teams who really want to vie for this championship title. So you got to make sure that you have umpires who understand those feelings and make the game as fair as possible.
3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. And that one is a strike called. Mayer took a ball in the outside half, and on the corner, it's 3-2. Koenig couldn't have dotted it up any better. Right-hander warming up for Brookdale in the bullpen. And that hit him in the helmet. On the 3-2, Koenig hit him. Johnny Johnson and Rob Valley coming out to make sure he's okay. And Mayer got hit hard. And also Elise Spalding coming out. But a lot of banged up players in this game. Would have been ball 4 anyway, so it puts runners on first and second after the base hit by Delaney. But Mayer not happy. And he'll take the trot down to first base. And Apicella will be the batter. The arm warming up for Brookdale.
Number 3, Alex Apicella.
And now Johnny Johnson will come out. That is number 35, Vinny Zephyrace, warming up in the bullpen for the Jersey Blues. And Johnson will come out. Koenig has been in since the 4th inning, and he has mostly shut down the Roadrunners. After 8 of the first 9 runs by RCSJ came across in the first 3 innings, Brookdale has found a way to get out of it, or at least for the most part. Game was tied in the bottom of the 6th inning on an RBI single by Gavin Cohen, and now in an even bigger spot, RCSJ, who blew a 5-run lead, they were up 8-3, now looks to redeem themselves, not a second time, but a 3rd time. As Apicella will be the batter. Yes, I think we can confidently say no chance this game starts at 3 if we go to a game 2. But I've said before, that's junior college baseball. That is to be expected. Bunt, third base side. Picked up, Pizzuti, throw to first. Pump fake, he got him. Bang, bang play. And Pizzuti pump faked it, but he got the out. It's a successful 5-3 sacrifice, and everybody moves up. Out number 1 after a hit by pitch and a single.
22, Jack Mastero.
Mayer to second, Delaney to third. Fly ball deep enough could give the Roadrunners the lead. Infield moving in. They're putting the entire infield in here. Makes sense. They're going to go for a play at the plate. And Adams has a quick tag, so Roadrunners got to be on the lookout. But got to imagine Delaney's running on contact unless they – I mean, listen, the scenario here is with 1 out. Obviously, you're not going to have him run on contact, but you got to imagine if the ball's deep enough, Delaney goes for a sac fly. But if the ball's hit on the ground, it really depends on which fielder it goes to, because the strongest arm out of the 3 is Pizzuti at third. Fly ball, left field. This is pretty straight away. Perone is there. Delaney tags. The throw is not cut off, and the run scores. 1 hopper to the plate. Would have been good with many runners, but Caleb Delaney is not one of them. He comes in from third to score, and it's 10-9, Rowan College, as Nick Slogic will bat as they take the go-ahead lead in the bottom of the 7th inning here in Game 1 of a possible 2.
We're seeing another lead change here, back again with the Roadrunners. This is a back-and-forth game as we're seeing, and it's very, very exciting to watch. And if the Roadrunners continue to keep this up, we will have another game today.
And again, no matter what time this game ends, expect about a 30-minute turnaround between games 1 and 2. The Game 2 link is already up on YouTube if necessary. But sunny skies all around from Camden. Really can't see a cloud anywhere, as it's been beautiful since the time we got here this morning. It's about 80 degrees. As that one's low, runner's going to go to third. Adams throws from the seat of his pants. It gets down the third base line. Pizzuti, that's a smart play by Pizzuti there. The ball came in short, and it skipped away from him, but he stayed over at third base for an extra second to make sure that Mayer wouldn't jump up and run. That's a smart play there by the third baseman. Obviously, he wasn't expecting – I don't know if he was expecting Adams to pop up and throw, but I don't know if I was expecting Adams to throw from the seat of his pants when the ball got away. That ball's low. It skips away. Here comes Mayer. Hits off the corner, and it's 11-9. Mayer scores on the wild pitch, and it's now a 2-run lead. And Slogic now a 3-0 count with 2 outs. He had a base hit in the first inning, but he's 1 for 4. Two runs across in this inning. Sac fly to left by Jack Mastero took the lead. And then a wild pitch scored Mayer. The 3-0 is low. It's ball 4. And Johnson will pop up. He throws his clipboard to the ground, and he's going to call in his right-hander. So a pitching change for Brookdale. Number 35, Vinny Zephyrace, as a frustrated Brookdale team, makes a pitching change. They trail 11-9 as Matt Koenig comes out of the game, rips the baseball away from his right-hander, and he'll have another right-hander coming in. After the break, it's 11-9 Roadrunners. Vinny Zafries is the batter. He will pitch for Brookdale. He's the third pitcher in the game for the Jersey Blues as he replaces Matt Koenig. 1 ball, no strikes to Izzo.
Vinny Zafires, he only has 11 games played before going into this lineup as a head.
As this ball is flied into right field with 2 outs. Gardner goes over. He makes the catch, inning over. So just takes 2 pitches for Zafrais, the sophomore from Colts Neck, New Jersey, to get out of the inning. We go to the 8th. Roadrunners take an 11-9 lead.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear.
Woo!
Kevin Ruff, the new pitcher for the Roadrunners. He's the third of the day, as it'll be Okendo, Hutchinson, and Ruff now. The left-hander, just the second left-hander to pitch for the Roadrunners in this 3-day tournament. Brevin Bezic was the other one. As the first pitch, the 1-0 is called strike. Lefty-lefty matchup to start versus Smale. There is a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle, but Ruff, left-hander out of Downingtown, Pennsylvania, 23 2/3 innings. This is his 11th appearance of the year, 7.23 ERA. 1.82 whip, 42 Ks, and a 2-0 win-loss record. His last appearance was on May the 4th versus Atlantic Cape. The pinch hitter in the on-deck circle for Brookdale will be number 32. That is Owen Perillo. And he would hit in the 3 slot in place of Gabe Tome. So an interesting substitution, but the lefty-lefty matchup. This ball's clubbed to right, but it's barely foul. Maybe not barely. Definitely looked that way off the bat, but it's still 2-2. An 11-9 game. RCSJ leads by 2. They scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th. A sac fly and a wild pitch brought home the 2 runs. Ruff, back up the middle. That's a base hit for Dawson Smale into center field. And Perillo will bat as the tying run in the top of the 8th inning. That's his first hit of the day. He's 0 for 4 prior to that. But for Perillo, out of St. Mary's School in Rutherford, New Jersey, 6'3", 220-pound freshman. And he hits in place of Gabe Tome, who, a lefty, makes sense to play into the platoon when Tome is 0 for 3. wants to ride the hot hand. 4.11 average, 5 homers, 34 RBIs, and 30 runs scored, in addition to 56 total bases and 17 walks. And if Ruff can't find the strike zone, who knows if he's going to let him swing at all until or at least until he gets a strike. But Tomei was 0 for 3 with a walk. And it's 2-0 now. Gary Perone III, another lefty, is still in the on-deck circle, but he also homered in the game, so I wouldn't in my right mind pinch hit for him. Strike call, 2-1. Two balls, one strike. 12 hits on each side in a high-scoring affair, 11-9. Swing and a miss, chase that one out. Top of the 8th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Brookdale with the tying run. Check, got him. They'll say he went around, and Perillo, the pinch hitter, goes down on strikes. That's out number 1, and the batter is
Next
Perone.
up for Brookdale, left fielder Gary John Perone.
This has just been a crazy game. I mean, I remember a lot from last year's championships, all the home runs and everything, but just 3 batters in, Rob Valley's coming and talking it over with Ruff. But again, if you get 1 mound visit per inning, you might as well use it. But Valley will talk it over with Ruff with a runner on first and 1 away. But no mercy rules in the championship round, and that was a point of discussion because we thought maybe with Roadrunners having an 8-3 lead early, that would be something that they would, you know, obviously it wouldn't apply, but if it was in the other rounds or in the regular season, it would be. For the tournament, it was revised to be 8 after 7 innings and 10 runs after 5, 8 runs after 7 innings. But I would say it's a good thing that none of the games in this tournament ever got to that point. All of them were close. Even the losers bracket, game, the 3rd game on Thursday where everybody was exhausted, was still only 7-2.
And that's one thing about baseball. Even if you do have a mercy rule early in the game, there's always going to be lead changes throughout the game. We saw the lead change twice. We saw the Roadrunners up, then we saw the Jersey Blues come back, and now the Roadrunners are back up again. Imagine if that never happened. That'd be a whole different baseball game we're watching. And this is very important because it's a championship game.
Well, what I tell people is that if it's a hypothetical, as in if you have to say, if this happens, then it's not worth talking about, right? Because the game of baseball is not determined by what ifs. It's determined by the actual facts of the game, the facts of the field, instead of hypotheticals. Lefty-lefty matchup with Perone, the 0-1. Strike called on its 0-2.
And that's one thing about baseball. You can't expect – no, actually, you have to expect the unexpected.
Right. Anything can happen on any given day between these two teams. A rematch from last year's finale in the Region 19 final. The 0-2 low, and it skips right behind Rosado. Went through his legs, and Perone with a hefty take. As that one did look good, but it just dropped off the table, and it's 1-2. It moves Smale to second base. So again, if we have to go to a game 2, it'll be 30 minutes after the conclusion of the first game. But 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away in the top of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss, he got him. Ruff strikes out Perone, back-to-back strikeouts, and there's 2 away. So here's Pizzuti.
Next up for the Jersey Blues, 3rd baseman Anthony Pizzuti.
Pizzuti, 2 for 4. Single in the 1st and 5th, including an RBI as a part of that transformative 5-run inning all the way back in the 5th, only 3 innings ago. But it's been a long time. Low, 1-0. And Ruff a little apologetic after that pitch. He tells his catcher, my bad. There is a right-hander warming up in the bullpen for RCSJ. Strike called, 1-1. Looks like it's Tommy Bradley warming up in the bullpen, the sophomore out of Monsignor Bonner and Penn State. With a 2020 grad of Monsignor Bonner, took a semester at Penn State. Swing and a miss by Pizzuti, 1-2. Bradley left State College, took a few years off, and came back to RCSJ in 2025. Was a key part of their third straight national championship last season. 11-9. Ruff to Pizzuti, tying run at the plate. Low, 2-2. 12 hits on both sides. 11 runs, 12 hits, no errors for Brookdale. For the Roadrunners of RCSJ. 9 runs, 12 hits, 3 errors for Brookdale. That's held them back in this game. The 2-2. Pizzuti clubs the ball to center field. This is sending Delaney back to the warning track, to the wall. It's gone! It's gone! Anthony Pizzuti, by the skin of his teeth, has tied the game!
Brookdale absolutely fired up. This is a huge play by
11-11. We're tied in the 8th.
Next batter, the catcher.
That's
number
the
22,
second
Ryan
home
Adams.
run that Brookdale has hit today. One from Perone, another from Pizzuti. Make a wish. It's 11-11.
Pizzuti adding another home run. Absolutely amazing. Going into this game with 4, making that 5. 6'4" sophomore from Lyndhurst, New Jersey.
And he'll make Lyndhurst proud with that shot by Pizzuti. That is very difficult to hit that ball out to that part of the park in center field. I mean, it's about 400 feet. Strike called, it's 0-2. And that changes everything. In the bottom of the 8th, it'll be 6, 7, and 8. Rosado, Cohen, and Comiskey. .22 combined runs. Outside, 1-2. I didn't think that Pizzuti had that off the bat, but Delaney just kept going back and back. He gave it a try, he gave it a whirl, and he just couldn't get it. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, he got him. Adams swings late. But Anthony Pizzuti, 2-run home run, and it's 11-11. Bottom of the 8th coming up right after the break. Jaden Rosado takes away to start the bottom of the 8th. I don't know how I still have a voice after 6 games of this high-intensity baseball, and I haven't even been drinking hot tea. It's 11-11. Bottom of the 8th inning, Anthony Pizzuti tied the game with a 2-run home run to give Brookdale an 11-11 tie game. The 13th hit of the game for Brookdale. There's been 25 combined hits. And in a game that's been topsy-turvy, it adds another chapter in game 1. As that one misses, it's ball 4. And the go-ahead run is on. The batter is Gavin Cohen.
The next batter, the second baseman, number 1, Gavin Cohen.
So he'll meet his first base coach, Austin Darrow, at first. Gavin Cohen had an RBI in the bottom of the 7th inning to give the Roadrunners the lead. Or excuse me, to tie the game back in the 6th. This one's fouled back over our heads on the left side. Misses that time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Popped up, back behind the plate. It's foul. It's 1-2. I'm a little bit surprised Cohen went to bunt with Rosado on first. I mean, Rosado is kind of quick, but as a catcher, he doesn't steal a lot of bases. So I'm not sure if he was going to try to get a bunt single, like a drag, but who knows? The 1-2. Rosado does trail off of first, but it's foul. Hits off the top of the net, lands in the bullpen. With Bradley warming up. I mean, if the Roadrunners take the lead, he'd be responsible for the save in the top of the 9th. But it's an 11-11 game. Throw back to first, not in time. If you're just joining us, I would normally recap the game, but that would take me about an entire half inning to do. It's 11-11. Anthony Pizzuti tied the game with a 2-run home run in the top of the 8th, and a big swing and a miss. A flail by Cohen. It's his first strikeout, and it's the right-hander's first strikeout out of the bullpen. That's out number 1.
Hitter number 19, Carter
Zafaris gets a big strikeout and a big gust of wind as well.
We're seeing a lot of wind throughout this game today, Dan.
But you know what? The wind is now blowing out to right field. It normally does not do that with the river, but now it's actually rolling along the river. You can see the Cooper Street building there. Yeah, that's some pretty hefty wind. It's up and away, 2-0. And that, again, it was not how it was at the start of the game. We've had a shift in the wind, which I think is also a testament to how long the game has been. But the 2-0, upstairs, 3-0. So after a huge strikeout, Zafaris struggling to control the zone versus the bottom of the order. Comiskey is 0 for 4. If there's anybody you want to face, it's the 0 for 4 batter, the only batter not to reach base for the Roadrunners today. But even though he's 0 for 4, that could also mean that he's due for redemption.
Exactly. This is the bottom of the 8th.
The 3-1, fly ball, left field. This one's down the line. Going in, it drops for a base hit. Everybody holds up where they are. And Comiskey, after all, gets his first hit. So that will now set up the number 9 hitter in Delaney. In an 11-11 game, Adams talking it over with his pitcher.
Number 5, Caleb Delaney.
On a sinking fly ball to left. The left-hander, Caleb Delaney. 2 hits and an RBI. We mentioned how many times the 9-hitter can be the unsung hero. And in the bottom of the 8th inning, there's no better time for a guy like Delaney, as he'll show bunt, but pulls away. 1-0 that time. So I think the cat's out of the bag. He might try to move these runners over to set up Mayer with 2 outs. Rosado on second. Comiskey on first. Strike called, 1-1. Low and out. Cannot be afraid of the strike zone here. Brookdale, they're being inconsistent out of the bullpen. I mean, they've got one batter where they're doing extremely well, and then the exact opposite happens on the next batter. Called a strike, 2-2. In the on-deck circle is the leadoff man, Mayer. 3 RBIs. Pardon, just 1 RBIs. 2 runs came in on that fly ball to right that he hit that was dropped by Gardner in the 3rd inning. Ground ball foul into the RCSJ dugout. Turning a lot of heads in there, and it's 2-2. In game 1 of the NJCAA championship round for Region 19, if Brookdale wins, it's all over. If the Roadrunners win, they force a game 2. 2-2. Low and outside. In the chalk of the right-handed batter's box, it's 3-2. Comiskey on first. Rosado on second base. And the full count pitch, ground ball. This could be 2. Smale picks it up to second. Tan, throw to first. Not in time. Delaney busting it out of the box, a fielder's choice. And that keeps the inning alive. Oh, interference is called at second base. The inning is over. They're going to say that the runner at second base was in the baseline, or pardon, was out of the baseline and interfered with Ryan Tan, and Rob Valley's going to wait for the umpire to come to him. The inning is over, and as we've seen, appeals like this are unsuccessful almost always. But the game is tied 11-11. Okay, we do have a replay of it. We'll take a look. All right, so I don't know what we see there. It was originally a fielder's choice. We're going to look at it one more time. Yeah, the video is a little bit blurry. I mean, RCSJ's taking the field. So I think the point of contention is, I think the runner at second slid in late, or maybe was out of the baseline. Who knows? Going to the 9th, 11-11. Top of the 9th inning. Tommy Bradley, the new pitcher for RCSJ. He comes into this game as the right-hander sophomore from Monsignor Bonner. Strike called to Diffley. It's 0-1. For Bradley, a 2.91 ERA in 43 1/3 innings, 16 walks, 42 Ks, and a 1.11 whip. He has been one of RCSJ's most reliable guys. As a high chopper to first, Slogic plays behind the bag, foot race, he gets in there, and Diffley is out at first.
Bradley has 11 appearances for RCSJ before this game. He has started 8. He has won 5, only has lost 1 with 43.1 innings pitched.
Yeah, when we saw him here back in February versus Camden, he started that first game that RCSJ won 5-1. And I interviewed him after the game. I said, how does it feel being mostly a bullpen guy but now being converted into a starter role? And he said, well, if I'm being honest, it's something I got to get used to. And he ended up really fitting into this hybrid role well. But like I said, when you're in the playoffs, even if you're a traditional starter, it's all hands on deck, right? It's not if you're a starter, then you'll stay that way. But you may also be called into the bullpen. And you just have to do whatever is asked of you by the brass to make this team win the game. And that's exactly what Rob Valley does. People get shifted around. People move around in the bullpen. You know, a guy that might be your 9th inning guy may move up depending on the severity or the intensity of the situation. It really does change a lot. As the 1-2. Bradley, strike 3 called, outside corner. Gardner goes down looking, and that's 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Ryan Tan will be the batter in the 9th slot. Yeah, Johnny Johnson still arguing balls and strikes with Leone, the home plate umpire. Again, the crew chief is Ben D'Alessandro at first base. Misses, 1-0. Tan, the 9-hitter, an RBI single. He's 1 for 3. 11 runs, 13 hits on both sides. The only difference, 3 errors by Brookdale, none by RCSJ. The 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. If the inning continues after him, Ray Mulhern will be the batter, and I would really think that RCSJ has their eyes set on getting out of this inning without flipping the lineup over to the top half. Ground ball, chopper to third. It's a fair ball. Back behind the third base bag. 1-hop throw is in time at first. Tan is out, and he comes up ginger on the play, slams his helmet down, and I think that he might have hurt something. We go to the bottom of the 9th. We're tied up 11 apiece. Bottom of the 9th inning, tie game, 11-11. One swing can send us into a second game here at Rutgers Camden. Strike is called. The wind is whipping, Mother Nature has never picked a better time for the offense to show up as the wind is stiff out to right field, and it's 1, 2, and 3 for RCSJ. Outside, 1-1. Looked outside to me. Brookdale with their third pitcher of the game, Vinny Safrace. After Brookdale went down in order in the top of the ninth. 2-1. Mayer, 1 run, 1 RBI, that is, 2 hits, a foul back, 2-2. Apicella, who has had 9 RBIs in this series, in this championship tournament, has had 2 today. A 2-run home run the other way to right field in the short porch here at Rutgers-Camden in the bottom of the second. The 2-2. Line drive into right field. It hooks down into the corner, off the Rutgers sign, and it bounces off the foul pole the other way. Mayer is going to stop at second. It's a leadoff double, and a bounce to defeat all bounces helped Mayer that time, and he might have even been able to get in at third. But a leadoff base hit in the bottom of the ninth puts us 180 feet away from a second game. Offensive timeout now.
Number 3, Alex Apicella.
My thinking is, and I'm not a betting man, but I would think that Apicella is going to try to drop down a bunt or at least move the runner over. If you're not going to bunt, shove the ball the other way. And then set up Jack Mastero, who is consistent at hitting balls to the outfield, and get a sac fly or get a ball down somewhere to tie the game, to win the game. That's what I think. But, maybe this is just a bunt defense scenario. I can't imagine Diffley and Pizzuti aren't going to be lining up in a bunt defense situation. Pizzuti's already on the edge of the dirt. I say the dirt. Every square inch of this field is turf. It's just different colors, if you will. There's white turf, brown turf, and green turf, and slightly lighter green turf. Winning run on second base. And there is your bunt. It goes to the pitcher's side. He's going to throw to the lead runner. He's safe.
You stand corrected, Dan.
Well, they did go for the bunt. I was surprised that the pitcher threw it to the lead runner, but he got in there in time. That's the right call. And it's a bunt base hit to send up Jack Mastero. Johnson coming out of the dugout, and they're going to intentionally walk Mastero here. Okay. I feel like Johnson's hands are tied here. You're intentionally walking the guy with 2 hits to face the guy that has 1 hit, but at the same time, I think your hands are tied here. Both Mastero and Slogic are top 5 in the nation in RBIs. Mastero is 16 home runs, and Slogic is 5th in the nation in hits. So no, I don't know what you should do there. Strike called outside corner, 0-1. Bases loaded, nobody out. This game feels like it's unraveling quickly, and the Roadrunners trying to stay alive for a game 2, just like they did last year. Slogic on the ground, it's going to get through, and the Roadrunners win game 1. 12-11, they walk it off as a game-winning single by Nick Slogic out to center field. Wins the first game, and Brookdale will have to survive for another day, or for at least another 3 hours, as Nick Slogic wins it with a walk-off single back up the middle. And it's 12-11. A little bit of chirping back and forth there at the end, but the Roadrunners win this one in a back-and-forth thriller, 12-11. And we will have a second game. Time of game, 3 hours, 23 minutes. And we'll be back in about 30 minutes for game 2. It's the do-or-die game. It'll all come down to this. Roadrunners 12, Brookdale 11. We'll be back in 30.
We will have a 7th game.